What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
9TF. Chapter 201 The Decisive Battle Between the Two Royal Groups 8. Interesting for you. Unveiling Tim Walls, the inspiring story of his family. More. 399. 100. 133. After half a day of sailing, Aokiji finally led the marine force into the New World and headed towards the territory of the BIGMOM pirates. But he didn't notice that all this was seen by two birds in the sky. Marine has indeed taken action. We must report it to Dad immediately. Okay, I understand. It turns out that these two are not ordinary birds, but rare zone bird fruit ability users. One is a swallow and the other is a goose. They belong to the Whitebeard pirates and are responsible for detecting intelligence. Then the two flew back to the Moby DK. Dad, Marine is dispatching on a large scale this time. There are more than 50 warships alone, and the number of troops is probably tens of thousands. I also saw the current Marine Marshal Aokiji, and the former Marshal Sengoku. Even the Marshal is dispatched. Is Marine crazy? Diamond Josie asked in disbelief. Marine would be crazy if he watched Thor annexing the BIGMOM pirates. Marco analyzed. If Thor annesses the BIGMOM pirates, there will only be one subsequent outcome. The power of New World will be completely integrated. Although I am very reluctant, but the current Thor is indeed the person closest to that position, the Pirate King. I suddenly feel a little lucky that we are Thor's ally. Otherwise, I don't know if Thor would annex us too. Foil Beasta said with lingering fear. Who la 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 la, what are you guys worried about? We have reached an alliance with Thor. How can someone as big-hearted as Thor still attack us? Even if we don't reach an alliance, Thor, if you want to annex us, the worst-case scenario is just a big fight. Whitebeard laughed boldly. Yes, Dad is right. No matter who it is, we won't just let him go without a fight, we must make him pay a sufficient price. We are the Whitebeard pirates. The pirates roared excitedly. Dad, what should we do next? Ace asked doubtfully. Since we are Thor's allies, we must fulfill our responsibilities as an alliance. Boys, let's go. Let's go ahead and stop them. Oh. New World, BIGMOM Pirates, Cake Island. The fierce war continues. Mom, can you use more force? Yamato said dissatisfiedly as he easily parried Smoothie's sword. Shut up, Smoothie yelled. He raised his sword high and slashed out a huge pink sword energy again. Thunder 8 trigrams. Lightning flashed on Yamato's mace for an instant, and then it slammed into the sword energy, smashing the pink sword energy into pieces. This move, and that horn, what's your relationship with Kaido? Smoothie asked doubtfully. Although I hate to admit it, I inherited this powerful body from him. He is my father, Yamato Kaido. Haha, as a descendant of Kaido, he actually joined the pirate group that killed his father's enemy. How sad, Smoothie mocked. I don't need to explain to you, and I don't need to explain to anyone. I am who I am. My name is Yamato, and I am a crew member of the Sky Shadow Pirates. Yamato said seriously. Then he stretched the mace into the sky, and a bolt of lightning struck down instantly. In the lightning, Yamato transformed into the form of the god of Oguchi. With this next blow, I will completely defeat you, Yamato said firmly. Then he rushed towards Smoothie. I will not lose to you, an unfilial person, who betrayed his father. Not to be outdone, Smoothie walked up to him with his long legs. Ah, admire the third generation and Yin Nai Luo. Wei Guo. The two unleashed the strongest attack inherited from their father-mother. This is not only a collision of moves, but also a collision of two people's ideas. Clang. Zzz. The swords and sticks collided, and violent red and black lightning exploded instantly. Powerful air currents swept around, and everyone around them couldn't help but cover their eyes. The ground cracked and shattered, then spread like a spider web. I want to go my own way, and no one can stop me. Yeah. In Yamato's roar, the mace gradually overcame Smoothie's sword. How can it be? As Smoothie screamed in disbelief, the mace knocked her away hard. Mother. Smoothie looked at BIGMOM's figure in the distance and murmured. Smoothie, one of the 4 desert stars, lost. Ha ha ha, you will never find where I am. Cracker said proudly. You're so verbose, I'll chop you to death sooner or later. Zoro said coldly. Then he slashed out the blue sword energy again and crushed the approaching biscuit soldiers. Damn it, even if you use visual perception, these biscuit soldiers still give people the same feeling. What should we do? Zoro murmured. A biscuit soldier broke through in front of Zoro and slashed down with his sword. Zoro blocked with his sword. Clang. The long sword struck Zoro's knife, cutting him far away, leaving a long groove on the ground. Ha ha ha. Roar no Zoro, you are destined to be defeated by me today. Cracker laughed wildly. If it were a head-on fight, Cracker would definitely not be Zoro's opponent, but this kid was playing dirty tricks, and for a while he actually put Zoro in a tough fight. Zoro stood up and slowly sheathed the knife. What? Admitted defeat? Cracker asked doubtfully. Since we can't find it, just destroy them all in an instant. What did you say? Zoro slowly put his hand on Wado Yamanji, his aura suddenly changed, and he began to accumulate strength. Zzz. There was a small sound of electric current coming from all around, which was a sign of excessive accumulation of power. What on earth do you want, you guy? Cracker started to panic. One sword dragon, 103 emotions, flying dragon servant. Zoro fiercely pulled out Wado Ikimonji, and instantly slashed out a white flying dragon sword energy. Roar. The flying dragon roared and flew towards Cracker's army of biscuit soldiers. Call out. The flying dragon flashed past. Zoro slowly put the knife back, turned and left, leaving Cracker with a confused look on his face. What did you do? I haven't. Hundreds of cookie soldiers were all turned into ashes. A wound from the forehead to the abdomen appeared on Cracker's body, and then he fell to the ground not knowing whether to live or die. Cracker, one of the 4 desert stars, was defeated. Chapter 202 The decisive battle between the two Imperial Groups 9. Dozens of marine warships were heading towards the territory of the BIGMOM pirates. Since a large number of the BIGMOM pirates were sent to the front line, the defense was empty, and the Marine entered the territory of the BIGMOM pirates without any obstacles. I will definitely avenge my previous shame this time and catch all the damn pirates in one fell swoop. Akainu said viciously. Catch all in one fell swoop. Haha. It's difficult. Sengoku next to him shook his head and smiled bitterly. Mr. Sengoku, we can be said to have mobilized all our strength this time. Can't we beat these pirates? Green Bull asked in confusion. You can't understand the horror of Thor if you haven't fought him head on. No matter how strong Thor is, he is only one person. Are we afraid of him with so many people? Admiral Substitute Momonosuke frowned. Numbers are meaningless in front of Thor. If your strength does not reach the level of Admiral, you don't even have the qualifications to stand in front of that man. Vice Admiral Crane said. Besides, there are many companions beside Thor. Redfield alone is enough to give us a headache. In addition, there are Gravity Blade, Yishao, Demon King, Zoro, Flame Disaster, Jin, Rain Shiryu, and so on. In terms of combat power, maybe we are still inferior to the Sora pirates, not to mention his ally. Whitebeard pirates. This mission can be said to be full of dangers. After these words came out, the atmosphere at the scene instantly became low. After all, if they could choose, who would be willing to carry out a mission that would lead to certain death? Everything is for justice, Akainu said firmly. Although Akainu is very cruel to pirates and can even sacrifice civilians to uphold justice, his will to uphold justice is more determined than anyone else. Unfortunately, this justice is completely wrong. Everything is for justice. Hearing Akainu's words, the fighting spirit at the scene was ignited again. At this moment, the sea suddenly became turbulent, and the waves were higher than one wave, constantly hitting the warships. What's going on? It was fine just now. This is the new world, the weather is unpredictable, anything can happen. Hey, do you feel familiar? I seem to have seen this scene before. The Marine at the scene was shocked when seeing the strange waves. It seems. Whitebeard's shock fruit. Are you kidding me? How could such a coincidence happen? Oh my god. Do you see what ship is that? A dozen ships were seen approaching slowly from a distance, led by the whale-like Moby DK. It's the Whitebeard pirates. Everyone, get ready to fight. Hurry up. Turn the ship around. Whoosh. With the longhorn sound, the news of the Whitebeard pirates' attack spread throughout the fleet in an instant. Whitebeard again. We must kill him this time. Akainu said angrily. It seems, we're in trouble. Sengoku said helplessly. Kulala la 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 la, Marines. If you want to get through, you have to get through lousy first. Whitebeard was standing on the bow of the Moby DK, laughing. He then closed his right fist and made a classic move. His biceps suddenly swelled, and the powerful shock force condensed into an air shield in his hand, and then hit it hard. Crack crack. The space instantly shattered like glass, and then spread rapidly in the direction of Marine, causing a huge tsunami wherever it passed. New World, BIGMOM Pirates, Territory, Cake Island. The battle between the two royal groups is coming to an end. The powerful members of the BIGMOM Pirates were defeated one after another. There are only 2 battles left on the entire battlefield. Nu Otuan stab. Katakuri's hand holding the trident turned into a white glutinous ball, and then began to twist and spin, and the high-speed rotating trident stabbed Ryder fiercely. Blood shield. Ryder opened his right hand, and a ball of blood-like energy instantly formed a bat-shaped shield in front of him. Clang. Zizi. The trident stabbed the shield fiercely, producing a large number of sparks. It's useless. Ryder laughed. I don't care. I'm just fighting. Katakuri said coldly to Kaido. Peerless donuts. Katakuri instantly split into dozens of white circles, which were distributed around him. 9 rice cakes. Countless fists filled with armament Haki emerged from the circle and attacked Ryder. Boom, boom, boom. Ryder relied on his speed to dodge so quickly that dozens of Ryder figures appeared at the same time. Bang, bang, bang. Katakuri's attacks all failed, none of them hit Ryder. Instead, Ryder took the opportunity to move in front of Katakuri, turned his right hand into a palm, and thrust out fiercely. PFF'd. It instantly broke through Katakuri's armed defense, leaving a wound on Katakuri's shoulder. Brother Katakuri. Bree, who was standing far away, saw her brother being injured again and couldn't help but scream, trying to rush forward to help Katakuri. But the other sisters hugged her desperately. Bree, calm down. Katakuri can still fight now. Did you want to cause trouble to him in the past? Did you want to kill him? Perospero scolded. But, brother Perospero, we just have to believe in him. I see. With so many injuries, you must have reached your limit. Looking at Katakuri, who was covered in wounds but still persisting in fighting, Ryder smiled. No matter what, I will definitely protect them. Katakuri said firmly. You are such a good brother, I am so moved. Then, I will help you. After saying that, Ryder clenched the sword in his hand and began to accumulate strength. A faint blood-red energy covered Ryder's surroundings. Don't die. Blood thorn. Then he stabbed out suddenly, and a blood-red sword energy was instantly released from the tip of the sword, flying towards Katakuri at an extremely fast speed. Still can't see anything, can't hide, are you really going to die? The blood-red sword energy instantly passed through his chest, and Katakuri slowly fell to the ground. This, Superman, who had always maintained a perfect image in front of his younger brothers and sisters and never landed on his back, finally fell to the ground on his back today. Brother Katakuri. Bree broke free instantly and ran towards Katakuri. Bree, I'm sorry, maybe I won't be able to protect you in the future. Haha. Katakuri spit out a mouthful of blood instantly. Brother Katakuri, please don't die. Chapter 203 The final battle between the two imperial groups. Bree quickly ran to Katakuri's side. Oni-chan, don't die. Bree cried loudly. Don't you never fail. You are invincible. Stand up quickly, brother. But after crying for a long time, Katakuri still didn't respond. Stop screaming, he won't die unless I kill him. Ryder, who was disturbed by Bree's cries, said impatiently. Really? Brother Katakuri won't die. What is my identity? Do I need to lie to you? He is just too tired and is resting now. This man has too many expectations. After Katakuri's defeat, only Thor and Bigmom were left fighting on Cake Island. Bang! Amber punched again and knocked away the charging Bigmom without mercy. After the Heart Network sensed that all the battles were over, Amber also decided not to show any mercy. Being knocked away by the God of Thunder again and again, Bigmom finally fell into a rage state, stood up and roared crazily. The terrifying and deadly, strange sound swept the entire Cake Island in an instant. Even Amber couldn't help but be affected by Bigmom's strange sound, and frowned. Mom, stop it. Mom, this is going to kill us. Mom, please forgive me. The Bigmom children who were suffering from the strange sound shouted loudly. Bigmom in the awake state will not pay attention to it, let alone Bigmom in the crazy state. In her eyes, her children are just tools to become the Pirate King. Only those who are useful to her will get her attention. If they are useless to her and hinder her, she will kill them mercilessly. Kaido can be called a loving father, compared to Bigmom in terms of how he treats his children. Shout, call you mom. Shut up. Amber, who was annoyed by the strange noise, yelled. Then he quickly rushed towards Bigmom, used both fists together, and started beating mercilessly. Ola 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 ola. Boom. The last punch caused the entire square to explode. Bigmom flew directly backwards, crushing everything in its path into pieces, and flew from one end of the Cake Island to the other. Amber immediately transformed into a bolt of lightning and caught up. Bang! Bigmom hit the ground, instantly creating a large crater of tens of meters. He lay in the crater, unresponsive for a long time. Phew! Amber fell to the ground. Bigmom, you should still be alive, right? I don't think such an attack can kill you. Boom! Sure enough, as soon as Amber finished speaking, a huge figure jumped up from the pit. It was Bigmom. Now Bigmom is covered in scars and dying, as if he might lose his life at any time. Thor, Kaido, what happened in the end? Bigmom actually called out Amber's title clearly. Apparently, the attack just now made Bigmom regain its sanity. Amber was shocked by Bigmom's sudden question. That guy, I've known him for a long time, about 50 years. Bigmom is lost in memories. Don't you have a mouth? Bigmom. Quote. Kaido, hey, can you talk? Is this your first time working with rocks? That man is not a good guy. Don't trust him. If you have anything, just tell me. My name is Charlotte Linlin. I will become the queen of this sea in the future. Kaido, I'll leave this fish fruit, phantom beast species, and blue dragon form to you. This is a lifelong debt. I have to remember it well. Long-winded. Quote. 50 years. It's such a long time. That guy should have been smiling when he died. Yes, he did die with a smile. Amber said lightly. Sure enough, it's his style. Well. Thor God, the next move will be my last blow. If you can block it, the Pirate King will be yours. Bigmom said coldly. Bring it on. Bigmom held the Napoleon sword tightly, raised it high, and began to accumulate strength. Zeus and Prometheus were attached to her shoulders, feeding her energy. Zzzz. Tiny pink lightning circles around Bigmom. The sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds and thunder continued. The waves keep crashing on Cake Island. Hakoku. Bigmom roared and swung the Napoleon blade fiercely. Bang. Boom. A huge pink sword energy burst out from the Napoleon blade. This move is the giant's strongest move, Hakoku. By shortening the lifespan, superpower is instantly unleashed in a short period of time. In another time and space, the two giants of Little Garden used this trick to kill the Island Eater monster that was 1,000 times larger than themselves. Now it is issued by the stronger BIGMOM, and its power is even more devastating. Amber took out a berry from the system space and instantly magnified it 10 times. Then lightning and lightning were used to simulate the magnetic field, and berry began to be compressed and accelerated. Then, using all the techniques I learned, I covered berry with the emission armament color and Conqueror's winding, and aimed at BIGMOM. Momo Tenfold Super Star Destroyer Cannon. Fiercely launched, berry instantly turned into a blue light and faced BIGMOM's Hakoku. Call out. Bang. Sizzling. The blue light instantly broke through the pink sword energy and followed the path of the pink sword energy towards BIGMOM. Boom. There was a huge explosion instantly, raising dust all over the sky. The dazzling light instantly enveloped the entire island, stinging everyone's eyes and even covering up the light of the sun in the sky, causing the entire area to fall into brief darkness. The ocean behind Cake Island was divided into two halves and could not be closed together for a long time. After an unknown amount of time, the dust finally dispersed, leaving only BIGMOM's huge body with a huge, bright hole in its chest. Mother. The members of the BIGMOM pirate group who ran over saw Mew and shouted crazily. Did I lose? BIGMOM murmured. Ah, you lost, Amber Kaido. In the end, I still couldn't become the pirate king. I'm really not willing to accept it. Well. Chapter 204 Recruitment. The 7 most famous plus-size models in the world. More. 669. 167. 223. BIGMOM was lying on the ground dying, with a big hole in his chest and heart. It was obvious that he was going to die soon. Another king of the sea died in the hands of the god of thunder. Mom, cheer up, we haven't lost yet. Mom, hold on. BIGMOM's children gathered around him and formed a circle around BIGMOM. Looking at the children around him who were crying with tears streaming down their faces, BIGMOM fell into a brief thought. Did I do something wrong? I couldn't help but feel a little remorse for my cruel treatment of my children. Ahem. Thor God, I want to ask you one last thing. BIGMOM suddenly said. You are a qualified opponent, tell me and I will try my best to satisfy you. Amber Kaido. Amber fought happily in this battle, so Amber also seemed extra generous to BIGMOM who gave him this battle. Thor God, you won this war. I will make everyone give up resistance. I hope that after my death, you can give the people who are still alive a way to live. BIGMOM, who had been cruel and ruthless all his life, finally woke up. What an unspeakable irony. It seems that the crying of her children next to her awakened the remaining trace of maternal love and conscience in her heart. BIGMOM, you also know that once a war starts, it must end with the death or surrender of one party. You started this war first. For this to end, they must all surrender to me and join my ranks. Amber said calmly. He didn't know that it was because the pirates under his command were provoking BIGMOM crazily in his own name. Of course, even if she knew, she wouldn't care. Amber had already had the idea of annexing the BIGMOM pirates, but she was just looking for a reason. Then BIGMOM happily bumped into him. Only by concentrating the power of the entire new world can it be qualified to challenge the world government. Well, what an arrogant man. Aren't you afraid that they will betray you and take revenge on you in the future? BIGMOM laughed. Do you think humans will care about ants' revenge? Amber asked Kaido lightly. Hearing Thor comparing themselves and others to ants, the faces of the BIGMOM children instantly turned ugly, but in the face of the huge gap in strength, they could only secretly rage with impotence. In that case, everyone obeys the order. Yes, Mom. After I die, all give up resistance and surrender to the Shadow Pirates. BIGMOM shouted using his last strength. Quote. Yes, Mom. The children of BIGMOM tearfully and hard Kaido. Sister, everyone, Linlin is here to see you. In a daze, she seemed to be back to the past again. The birthday party when I was 6 years old was really fun. Endless desserts. Everyone smiles. Why is everyone missing? As the last of its life force was exhausted, BIGMOM completely lost its breath of life. Mother. The members of the BIGMOM pirates cried out in pain. Although BIGMOM was very cruel to them, after all, it was their mother who died and would never be seen again. Everyone in the Sky Shadow Pirates stood quietly aside, watching everything. Amber found a quiet place and dialed the phone number. On the front line of the battle between the BIGMOM pirates and the Sky Shadow Pirates, the BIGMOM pirates received support from people led by Charlotte Owen, and their morale was greatly increased for a while. However, when the high-end combat power was seriously inferior to that of the Sky Shadow Pirates, they were still suppressed and retreated. The combat power of the BIGMOM pirates and the Sky Shadow Pirates were not equal from the beginning. Brew. Luo, who was directing the battle from the rear, suddenly heard the phone rang. Calling at this time, it must be that the captain's beheading plan was successful. Luo picked up the phone excitedly. Captain, well, it's me. The beheading plan has been successful, BIGMOM has been killed by me. Amber said. Great, you deserve to be the captain. Kaido said excitedly. What a blessing it is to have a reliable captain. Luo from another time and space. Achu, Achu. The remaining members of the BIGMOM pirates on Cake Island also surrendered under BIGMOM's dying order. Our goal is to annex the entire BIGMOM pirates, so try to retain their effective strength on the front line. It is best to find a way to recruit them, etc. Next, I will ask BIGMOM's eldest son to call them personally to recruit them. I understand, Captain. Luo Kaido. Amber then explained some more things before hanging up the phone. The members of the BIGMOM pirates buried BIGMOM soon after. Then, led by their eldest son Perospero, they all surrendered to the Shadow Pirates. Now that the war is over, you people on the front line also ask them to surrender quickly. I'm afraid if it's any later, they will be completely wiped out. Amber said calmly. I'll do it right away. Perospero looked ugly and turned to leave. Soon after, the members of the BIGMOM pirates on the front line received news of BIGMOM's defeat. Although it was unbelievable, since it was brother Perospero who called, how could it be wrong? So they all surrendered to the Sky Shadow Pirates. There is no drama of pretending to surrender and then rebelling. The members of the BIGMOM pirates who are fighting against the Sky Shadow Pirates on the front line are clearly aware of the gap between the two pirate groups. If the fight continues, there will be absolutely no second outcome for everyone except being wiped out by the group. Surrender as soon as possible and at least you can survive. In this way, after some twists and turns, the Sky Shadow Pirates finally annexed all the BIGMOM pirates and accepted all of the BIGMOM pirates' territories. The maritime pattern has also changed from 4 emperors to 3 emperors, and a bigger storm is brewing, which is about to sweep the entire world. Chapter 205 Supporting Whitebeard. Interesting for you. Selena Gomez posts powerful bikini then and now. More. 744. 186. 248. After defeating the BIGMOM pirates, Amber and others began to gather the remaining soldiers of the BIGMOM pirates. 3 hours have passed since the battle with the BIGMOM pirates started. At this moment, the phone bug I carried with me suddenly rang. Brew. Amber picked it up and answered it. Boss, Marine and the Whitebeard pirates are fighting near the territory of the BIGMOM pirates. According to the information sent back by our spies, Marine has dispatched all high-end combat forces, including Marshal Aokiji. The person who heard the voiceover there was Jin, the person in charge of Anbu. Amber has long considered that the world government has received the news that he and the BIGMOM pirates are at war, and will never sit idly by. The most likely way is to send Marine to stop it. So I arranged for Anbu to monitor secretly, and Marine actually took action. It's just that Amber didn't expect that the world government would be so decisive. Even the Marine Marshal was dispatched. Obviously, he was not only preparing to prevent Amber from annexing the BIGMOM pirates, but also planned to take advantage of the 2 emperors to suffer losses and kill the 2 ocean emperors at once. Unfortunately, the world government still underestimated the power of the Shadow Pirates, even though they had guessed that the Shadow Pirates would win. After all, Thor's combat power exceeded that of BIGMOM. But what Marine is thinking about is the war between the 2 kings of the sea. No matter what happens, it will not end in a short time. After all, the BIGMOM pirates have developed for decades, and the Sky Shadow Pirates have not been able to fight until now. It's just a year. Without Whitebeard's help, if you want to take down the BIGMOM pirates, you will have to pay a heavy price. But I didn't expect that the Sky Shadow Pirates did not confront the BIGMOM pirates head-on, but adopted the same beheading tactics as they did against the Beast's pirates. So in just 3 hours, the war was over, far shorter than the time predicted by naval headquarters. And they were also stopped by Whitebeard. Although the Whitebeard pirate group alone was definitely not a match for the Marines who deployed their entire army, this was the sea. In addition, Whitebeard had regained his youth and could use the power of shock fruit to cause tsunamis at will. Marine was already exhausted just dealing with tsunami, let alone breaking through Whitebeard's blockage. I understand, you are waiting for us at location XX, ready to support the Whitebeard pirates. Amber Kaido. I know, boss, Jin Kaido said calmly. Amber then hung up the phone and called her companions. Everyone, get ready, we have a tough battle to fight next. Amber smiled. What, there's still fighting? Nami complained dissatisfied. Ha ha ha, it's good to have a fight, I didn't fight enough just now. Yamato laughed. It's really troublesome. Zoro snorted. He didn't feel comfortable at all in the battle just now. He thought he had chosen a swordsman, but the whole battle ended up being so frustrating that he died. Thunder Boy, if my guess is correct, it must be Marine. Ryder said. That's right, they won't let us simply annex the BIGMOM pirates. That's better, my revenge has not been avenged yet. Then everyone boarded the Thor and soared into the sky. As for Cake Island, it was temporarily entrusted to Perospero to clean up the mess. As for fearing they would rebel. Just kidding. In his heyday, he was easily defeated by Thor. Now that all the advanced combat forces have been defeated, he still rebels. Isn't that looking for death? New world, near the border of the BIGMOM pirates, territory, where Marine and Whitebeard fought. Bang. Marine's high-end combat power worked together to disperse the 100-meter-high tsunami. Damn, Whitebeard's abilities are too troublesome. Akainu frowned. Big Buddha impact. Sengoku fired a shock wave casually. After all, it is called the power to destroy the world. Furthermore, Whitebeard's appearance is so strange. He is basically the same as when he was young. Is this a rejuvenation? It's incredible, Crane Vice Admiral said. This must be Thor's handiwork. With the development to this day, I won't be surprised no matter what magical things Thor does. Sengoku Kaido. Ah, what should we do now? We can't break through Whitebeard's blockade at all, Kizaru said. Senior, you can just transform into elements and fly over, Green Bull suggested. Let me face the God of Thunder alone. How is that possible? People will really die. Kizaru looked scared. Thor's performance at Naval Headquarters last time was so terrible that even an Admiral-level combat force would have no chance of surviving when facing Thor alone. This is the God of Thunder, the only being on the sea with the title of God. It may not have been worthy of the name before, but now it is. Who la 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 la, what's wrong? Marine, keep coming up. Whitebeard laughed boldly. Damn it, get the boat closer to me, I'm going to kill him. After hearing Whitebeard's taunt, Akainu, who had the hottest temper, couldn't help it. But, Akainu Admiral, the waves are too big and our ship can't get close at all. Marine, who was controlling the ship, replied. It seems that we have no way to bypass Whitebeard. We can only move forward by defeating Whitebeard. I hope the war over there is not over yet. Aokiji sighed, and then made a decision instantly. I saw Aokiji jumping high, blue light condensed on his hands. Ice Age. Blue light shot towards the sea, and the sea surface and all the ships within a radius of dozens of miles were instantly frozen. Whitebeard, you can't cause a tsunami at will, Aokiji said coldly. The reason why I didn't use it just now was because I wanted to bypass Whitebeard directly, but I have found that it is impossible. Hoo la 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 la, freeze imp, it's this move again. It's really nothing new, Whitebeard said disdainfully when he saw the familiar move. During the Summit War, Aokiji relied on this move to stop Whitebeard's tsunami, and now he is doing it again. Whitebeard, suffer death. When Akainu saw that Whitebeard could no longer cause a tsunami, he immediately rushed towards Whitebeard on the moonwalk. Let's all come together and completely wipe out the Whitebeard pirates. Marine yelled and attacked the Whitebeard pirates. Marine, do you think we're afraid of you? Not to be outdone, the pirates rushed forward. Chapter 206, rushing to the battlefield to help. Interesting for you. The 7 most famous plus-size models in the world. More. 148. 37. 49. Amber and others boarded the Thor, and under the rapid flight of the Thor, they quickly arrived at the agreed-upon location. Bang! The Thor hit the sea hard and made a huge noise. Captain, on the shore is the high-end combat power of the Sky Shadow Pirates, headed by Yishao. The purpose this time was to force Marine back, not to start a full-scale war with Marine, so except for a dozen high-end combat forces, the others were left on the battlefield to clean up the mess. What's more, in Amber's heart, Marine is still a worthy candidate. If this guy Akainu was the marshal, Akainu would never cooperate with the pirates due to his character. But now that Aokiji is the marshal, maybe after he fully understands the face of the world government, there is still some possibility. To this end, Amber has made a lot of plans secretly. Our mission this time is to force Marine back. Amber briefly introduced the content of the task. Okay, I see. No one questions Amber's orders. In addition to their loyalty to Amber, there is also Amber's overwhelming combat power, which makes the companions believe that no matter what problems they encounter, Amber can solve them. Everyone slowly boarded the Thor, and the Thor took off into the sky again. New World, the junction of the former BIGMOM pirates, territories, where the Whitebeard pirates and Marine fought. Admiral Akainu once again bore the brunt of facing off against Whitebeard. Probably because he was seriously injured last time, the elderly Whitebeard gave him great confidence, and of course the determination to defend justice. Dark Hound. Akainu's right arm turned into lava and attacked Whitebeard. The target was Whitebeard's head, and he took Whitebeard's life directly. Hula la 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 la, Magma Kid, this time is different from the last time. Whitebeard laughed, then covered the Cloud Cutter with Conqueror's entanglement and chopped it. Whitebeard. This time Lousy has kept up with the version update. I don't see anyone saying that Lousy is the weakest of the 4 emperors. Bang! Kong Yunchi instantly chopped Akainu's magma arm into pieces and headed towards Akainu's chest. Hateful. Akainu cursed angrily, and then hurriedly evaded through elemental transformation, widening the distance between him and Whitebeard. Great eruption. Then he turned both arms into lava and attacked Whitebeard. The lava instantly expanded to the size of a house. Shockwave. Whitebeard's left arm punched back without showing any signs of weakness. Click. Click. The space shattered like a mirror, carrying endless waves of air to meet the magma. Boom. The two were deadlocked there for a while. Although Whitebeard has a slight upper hand, it is still impossible to defeat Akainu in a short time. After all, the only freak in this world is Thor. Yeah, what a chance. Laser. Not far away, Kizaru saw Whitebeard's flaw, and immediately made a sneak attack, releasing a dazzling laser beam from his fingers. Call out. The laser beam flew quickly towards Whitebeard. Puff. A pair of blue wings with flames blocked the laser beam. It was the captain of Whitebeard's first division, Phoenix, Marco. Kizaru, you are still so shameless, and you still want to sneak attack on our emperor. Marco said with a smile. How can dealing with pirates be called a sneak attack? Kizaru said casually. Haha, if you want to disturb our emperor, you must get through me first. It's still the same lines as Summit War, but the author's word count is too obvious. Kizaru complained. What? Marco said in surprise. Let's continue the last battle. Then the two fought together again. The other captains also faced off against Marine's advanced combat power. The Whitebeard pirates alone were too reluctant to take on the entire Marine army. The Whitebeard pirates were suppressed except for Captain Whitebeard. The captains who faced Vice Admiral were better off, but the captains who faced Admiral Green Bull, Sengoku and others were all in danger. Admiral Green Bull even held down the three captains Diamond Josie, Fire Fist Ace, and Foil Beasta by himself. Damn it, the captains are about to lose. Sure enough, our pirate group is still too reluctant to fight against Marine. How about retreating? After all, their target is not us. What the hell are you talking about, UB **********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************8Thor completely at a disadvantage. Whitebeard, this is your burial place today. Akainu said viciously. It's 100 years too early for you, magma brats. Whitebeard said disdainfully. Then he suddenly exerted force to suppress the magma, and instantly dispersed the magma. Oops! Akainu reacted and tried to dodge, but was still a step too late. Bang! The terrifying shock force struck instantly and acted on Akainu. Wow, Akainu spit out a mouthful of blood and took a few steps back. But it's still impossible to defeat Akainu like this. This guy is so fleshy beyond imagination. Unless, like the god of thunder, the power of the attack instantly exceeds the limit of Akainu's endurance, Akainu will always get up. You know, Marine's top management has mastered the life return, and their resilience is also very scary. Whitebeard, today I will risk my life to capture you. Akainu wiped the bloodline from the corner of his mouth, roared and rushed towards Whitebeard. The battle begins again. Bang! Just when the two sides were fighting fiercely, a huge noise suddenly came from the sea. What happened? The sound instantly attracted everyone's attention, and then the two sides stopped fighting in a tacit agreement. What it is? A ship. A ship fell from the sky. The Marines didn't realize it. Flying ship. I remembered. Thor has a flying ship. Thor is coming to support us. The pirates immediately cheered. Hoo la 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 la, defeated BIGMOM so quickly. The Thunderbolt boy is really getting stronger and stronger. Whitebeard said with a smile. The sea gradually became calm, and a silver warship made of steel appeared in front of everyone. It's Thor. The Marines shouted in horror. There is no way, Thor's name is too big. Everyone, stay safe and sound. Amber's figure slowly appeared in front of everyone and said with a smile. The companion stood solemnly behind Amber. Thor, it's you again. Akainu roared angrily. Akainu Admiral, it's been a long time since we last met. Amber smiled. Thor, why are you here? Aokiji stepped forward and asked with an ugly expression. The appearance of Thor instantly broke Marine's plan. How could it be possible to defeat a group of 4 emperors so quickly? Chapter 207. Force Marine to retreat. Selena Gomez posts powerful bikini then and now. More. 77. 19. 26. This is what I should ask you. What do you Marines want to do when you show up in my territory? Amber asked. Your territory. Could it be BIGMOM? Aokiji reacted instantly and said in shock. You guys want to stop me. Unfortunately, it's too late. BIGMOM has been defeated and the BIGMOM pirates have been annexed by me. After hearing Amber's words, the expressions of all the Marines present turned ugly. Their mission this time was to prevent Thor from annexing the BIGMOM pirates, but now they have turned into clowns. How is it possible? No matter how powerful the God of Thunder is, he can't, in just a few hours. Those are the 4 emperors who have dominated the sea for decades. I'm afraid there is no difference between 4 emperors and Shichibukai in front of this person. The Marines on the warship were shocked. Hoo la 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 la, I actually defeated BIGMOM so quickly. As expected of you, Thor. Whitebeard next to him laughed. The mission failed, what should we do now? Kizaru picked his ears and said casually. We still underestimate Thor. Sengoku sighed. Then shall we continue, or retreat? Green Bull asked doubtfully. Failure. I will never accept it. Aren't these damn pirates here? Kill them all now, and the mission can still be completed. Akainu shouted. Fight or retreat? Aokiji, now you are the marshal, you decide. Crane Vice Admiral sighed and said. Aokiji lowered his head with a heavy face and pondered. Against the Whitebeard pirates and the others, the Marine side can be said to have a sure chance of victory, but with the addition of Thor and his gang, the chances of winning are slim. Especially for Thor, at least 3 admirals must come together to hold him down, plus the companions next to Thor. We retreat. Aokiji struggled to say the order to retreat. What? Just left like this? I feel like we Marines are like clowns. Didn't you say that justice will prevail? Aokiji's order caused an uproar among the Marines, and the Marines started talking about it. This is also the reason why Aokiji has just taken office and has an unstable foundation. If Sengoku gave the order, even though the Marines present would have objections, they would never discuss it in person, but would implement it firmly. The most angry person among them is Akainu. He was originally dissatisfied with losing to Aokiji because of his broken arm, and now Aokiji's performance makes him even more dissatisfied. I refuse. Akainu looked directly at Aokiji and said every word. The enemy is right ahead. As a Marine, you should fight to the death. How can you back down? How can justice back down? Akainu roared. As if he wanted to vent all his frustration and dissatisfaction. If he were the marshal, he would never take a step back. That's right. Justice will never back down. Akainu Admiral, I support you. We can't let these damn pirates go. We'll follow Akainu Admiral and fight them. In Marine, Akainu's supporters shouted loudly, and Vice Admiral, the Ghost Spider, shouted the loudest. He was a big fan of Akainu Admiral. Akainu did not become a marshal, and his way of thinking when he became a marshal in the original work must be different. Needless to say, Akainu would not be like this. What I am writing here is a parallel world. Hearing this, Aokiji's face became even uglier. He never expected Akainu to refute him in public. After all, he was the Marine Admiral. Sakazuki, Kuzan, this is also for the overall consideration. It's not a good thing to fight with Thor now. There is no chance of winning at all. Kizaru acted as a peacemaker on the side. Shut up, Celino. You are the one who has no right to speak. Your lazy look has simply made Marine lose face. I feel humiliated to be an admiral with you. Akainu continued to output. Hearing Akainu's words, Kizaru, who has always been careless, also changed his face. Hey, don't be like this. Green Bull hurried out to persuade. Sengoku stood aside pretending to be dead. He had already racked his brains when he was the admiral, and now he didn't want to get involved in this muddy water again. Marine instantly fell into a strange atmosphere. Captain, there seems to be an internal conflict on the Marine side. Ryder said. That's normal. Aokiji has just ascended to the position of marshal and has not had time to expand his team. The admiral position is a senior from the same period, so it's hard to convince everyone. Amber laughed. Then should we take the opportunity to attack? Now is a good opportunity. How do you know it's not their plan? Besides, I don't mean to eliminate Marine. Although Marine insists on wrong justice, it does protect most civilians on the sea from the hands of pirates. What Marine needs is not destruction, but a self-revolution from top to bottom. Only by eliminating the corrupt parts of this organization can it truly become a sword to uphold justice. The captain's vision is really high. I'm glad that I chose to follow the captain. Yishao next to him admired. Isn't it Uncle Yishao's words that reminded me? There are also scum and bores among Marines, and there are also benevolent people among pirates. We can't generalize. Amber laughed. Oh, I didn't expect that Mr. Yishao actually had such awareness. I really admire him, Reed praised. Hehe, I don't deserve it, I just speak my mind. Amber, are we just waiting like this now? Nami asked. Marine will retreat soon, just wait. Amber smiled confidently. Sakazuki, I order you to retreat in the name of the marshal. Aokiji said coldly. Marshal's order. Since you are the marshal, I will naturally listen to your orders, but I will report to the 5 elders immediately after I return. I absolutely disagree with your orders. Akainu retorted. Whatever you want, but before that, you must obey my orders. After a quarrel, Aokiji still forced everyone to retreat. Seeing this scene, the pirates breathed a sigh of relief. They didn't want to fight Marine to the death, let alone chase. Captain Whitebeard and Captain Thor didn't order to chase either. Kulala la 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 la, as expected of the Thunder God, Marine ran away without fighting. Whitebeard laughed. Whitebeard, this time it's really thanks to you. If you hadn't stopped Marine, we might have had to work harder. Amber thanked. Kulala la la, since the covenant has been made, I, Whitebeard, will naturally abide by it. No need to say polite words, why not treat us to a drink? In that case, let's get together. I just happen to have something to discuss with you. Did you hear that, little ones? The party is starting. Yes, Dad. Chapter 208 3 Emperor's Pattern. One king alone. Interesting for you. The 7 most famous plus-size models in the world. More. 703. 176. 234. After forcing Marine to retreat, Amber and others boarded Whitebeard's Moby DK. Whitebeard's Moby DK can accommodate hundreds of people, so a dozen people are no problem. Some of Amber's group had been here before and didn't feel much about it again, while some of them were here for the first time and were full of surprise. Soon the banquet started, with toasts and guests coming and going. It was very lively. Whitebeard sat on the high main seat, and Amber was arranged to sit next to him. Kulala lala, it's so comfortable to have a good fight and then drink a glass of wine. Whitebeard drank the wine in the glass in his hand and laughed. Thor, it's been a year since our last party, and you didn't come to me for a drink, but Ryder came to me for a fight several times. Oh, who won? Amber asked curiously. 2 legends of the old times, who will win and who will lose? Amber is still very interested. Stop talking, that old bat relies on his speed to dodge around, and dare not fight head on, it's not fun at all. Whitebeard said unhappily. Whitebeard, you can't keep up with me, but you blame me. Ryder had been standing on the deck without knowing when. Obviously, he sensed the conversation between the two through his observation Haki. Kulala la 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 la, Ryder, if you fight me hard for a few moves, I won't complain. Come on, who dares to take on your conqueror's entanglement plus the power of the shock fruit? Ryder said speechlessly. Hehe, me, Amber pointed at herself. Except you, a monster. Ryder complained. Kulala la 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 la, Thor, what are you going to do next? You have annexed the BIGMOM pirates and you are the most powerful force in this sea except for the world government. Do you want to rule the entire new world? At the last sentence, Whitebeard's face became extremely serious. The new world must be unified, otherwise there is no way to fight against the world government. Amber seemed to not notice Whitebeard's expression and spoke to herself. Are you going to attack me and red hair? Whitebeard said seriously. Haha, Whitebeard, do you think I am that kind of person? Since we have already signed an alliance, I will not violate it. Then what do you plan to do? Unification also requires methods, it can be unified by force or by civil. Civil unification. Tell me more, Whitebeard said with interest. That ocean will still be ruled by your Whitebeard pirates, but you must accept the rules I set. Amber stated her conditions. Is it to make lousy your subordinate? Whitebeard narrowed his eyes slightly, and his momentum became fierce. Because the main seat was far away from the crowd, no one else heard the conversation between the two. Only Ryder and Yishao, who had strong observation Haki, heard a little. That's not what I meant, but you can understand it that way. New world must be integrated into one force, and no one can be an exception, including you, Whitebeard. Amber Kaido. The two of them just stared at each other, and were in a stalemate. You think I would agree? After a while, Whitebeard said faintly. I don't know, but I'd agree if I were you. Why? First, we are allies, which is good for both of us. Some of my rules are nothing more than not attacking civilians, not plundering passing caravans, etc. Protecting the towns in the territory is not what your pirate group has been doing. And I remember that you are not interested in treasures at all. In this case, what impact do my regulations have on you? As for the shipping fee, Tezzolo, the richest man in the world, is my subordinate, so he can give it to you casually. Allocate hundreds of millions of berry. Tezzolo. That's my money, my money. Amber. What's yours and mine, you know what to do, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is still mine. You're right, it really has no impact on us. Whitebeard agreed. Second, my kindness to your pirate group. Whitebeard, you probably haven't repaid it yet. After all, I saved your entire pirate group, so you each owe me a life. Amber started Pua with Whitebeard in order to complete her goal. After all, Whitebeard didn't know that in the original timeline, with the intervention of Red Hair, most of the Whitebeard pirate group could escape safely. Indeed. So, Whitebeard Kaido. For a person like Whitebeard, who has a clear sense of grudges and grievances, it is the most uncomfortable thing to owe others a favor. Finally, and most importantly, the world of pirates is nothing more than whoever has the bigger fist speaks. Although my fist is not as big as yours, I am stronger than you. You should admit this. I'm not your opponent. Whitebeard's face turned extremely ugly. I remember the scene when I was defeated by the Thunder God's punch. At that time, I had used all my strength, but I was still defeated by the Thunder God's punch. In that case, Whitebeard, why do you have any hesitation? Even if you don't think about yourself, don't you think about your sons? Amber continued to talk. Quote. I accept your proposal, but I cannot accept your annexation of us like you annexed the BIGMOM pirates. Don't worry, your Whitebeard pirates and the future Red Hair pirates are all non-staff. You can do whatever you like, and take risks wherever you like. You just need to provide combat power when needed. If that's the case, then so be it. Whitebeard struggled to say the words equivalent to surrender. He is Whitebeard. Who have you served in this life? Even Roger was just an equal in front of him. But Thor was too evil, unable to win after fighting, and still owed favors to others, so Whitebeard finally gave in. The mouth escape was successful. What to fight? How can someone who only knows how to fight and kill achieve hegemony? First of all, I would like to thank my ancestor Uzumaki Naruto for teaching me the mouth release technique. Afterwards, Whitebeard announced to the crew that he had officially surrendered to the Shadow Pirates. It caused everyone to be shocked. Weren't we still allies just now? Why did we surrender so quickly? I am not willing to give in. Dad should become the Pirate King. Dad, this is not true, right? Although the crew members of the Whitebeard pirates had strong opinions, they were suppressed due to Whitebeard's insistence. The most important thing is that these people saw their invincible father, defeated at the hands of the God of Thunder that day. Chapter 209 Red Hair's Action. The photo of 4 Emperors BIGMOM's defeat was thrown on the desk of News King Morgan's by an unknown person. Actually, Amber directed and acted herself. Then, the Battle of the 2 Emperors. Thor defeats BIGMOM. The news flew to every corner of the known world with the news bird. Another 4 emperors defeated. So is this the era of the 3 emperors? There are no more 3 emperors. Perhaps the pirate throne that has been hanging in the air for a long time will usher in its new owner. Ordinary people who saw the newspaper had heated debates, but they all agreed on one thing: the era of 4 emperors was completely over. New world, an unknown sea area. Hold head high. A huge sea beast was split into 2 instantly. Haha, let's eat this fish tonight. Barbecue. Barbecue. I want to eat barbecue. Shanks took back his famous sword griffin and shouted with saliva. I feel like the captain can't think about anything else except eating. Usopp complained. Yes, isn't there still wine? Ben Beckman said. What's wrong with eating? Only by eating more can you have a good figure like mine. Lachalu said while chewing on the meat of the big stick with his round belly. You call this a good figure? Everyone complained loudly. Goo goo. Just then, a news bird suddenly flew over. Let's see if anything big happened recently. Then Shanks waved to the news bird, and the news bird quickly flew down. Shanks bought a newspaper with the 100 berry he had with him, then opened it and read it. The BIGMOM pirates attacked the Sky Shadow Pirates' territory. In the battle between the two emperors, BIGMOM was defeated. 3 emperors pattern. Shanks was shocked when he saw the news in the newspaper. Then I wiped my eyes vigorously. I couldn't believe that I just hadn't read the newspaper for 3 days. Why did the world suddenly change? Captain, what happened? Ben Beckman looked at the shocked Shanks and asked involuntarily. See for yourselves. Shanks then threw the newspaper over. Big MOM lost. Ben Beckman couldn't help but be shocked when he saw the news in the newspaper. The newspaper was then passed around to others. Oh my god, in just 3 days, such a major thing happened. It's so unimaginable. Am I dreaming? Thor's strength is getting stronger and stronger. He defeated the entire BIGMOM pirates in just half a day. I can feel that the coming storm will get bigger and bigger. Shanks frowned. Compared to that, I'm more worried about ourselves. Ben Beckman said solemnly. Oh, Shanks looked over with confusion. Didn't you notice? Thor's purpose is obvious, to unify the new world. Now that he has defeated BIGMOM, Whitebeard is his ally. So who will be his next target? It can only be us. Usopp said with a heavy look on Kaido's face. Thor shouldn't do this. Lakeelu said uncertainly. It's hard to say. Our pirate group has had many conflicts with other 4 emperors groups over the years, but their strength is roughly the same, and no one can do anything to the other. And against the BIGMOM pirate group, Thor only used the change of the sky time. If they face us, maybe it will only take half a day. Ben Beckman analyzed. After hearing this, everyone had heavy expressions on their faces, even Shanks, who was usually laughing and joking. If Thor really wants to annex our pirate group, then the only 3 options before us may be fight, escape and surrender. Captain, you decide whether to fight or retreat. Ben Beckman stepped aside after analyzing. All eyes turned to Shanks. Shanks lowered his head and fell into thought. Don't worry, let's go meet the God of Thunder first and see what he thinks. If we must fight, at worst, let's have a good fight. Shanks thought for a while and then spoke out. Yes, Captain. Everyone shouted. Then everyone boarded the boat and headed quickly in the direction of Wano-kuni. 9 Snake Island, Amazon Lily. Hancock, who was sitting on the throne, was holding a newspaper in his hand, with an excited look on his face. I defeated another 4 emperors, as expected of Lord Amber. Hancock said excitedly. I didn't expect that man would grow to such an extent in just 2 years. The next step may be to unify the new world and start a war with the world government. Granny New sighed. HMPH. How could the man I like be so bad? Hancock said proudly. Sister, when my brother-in-law overthrows the world government, you can get married. Marigold said with a smile. Yes, then Oni-sama's dream will come true. Sandersonia agreed. Marrying Ms. Amber or something. After hearing what the two said, Hancock's face instantly turned red, and then he fainted. Sister, someone come quickly. My sister fainted again. Haha, every time I mention marrying Amber, it becomes like this. Hancock, this can't go on. Granny New said with a smile. Chapter 210. The world is shocked. The news of BIGMOM's defeat was like a bomb dropped in the pool, shocking the whole world. The war between the 2 emperors ended with the death of BIGMOM. Thor led his men to destroy the BIGMOM pirates, and BIGMOM, who had become a nightmare for countless people, was unable to fight back and was beaten to death by Thor in a one-on-one battle. Although in many people's minds, Thor was already the strongest among the 4 emperors, such a huge gap still shocked everyone. Nowadays, Thor's reputation is resounding throughout the world, and most people no longer place Thor in the position of the 4 emperors. In their eyes, Thor is already above all pirates like the pirate king Gul D. Roger. Roger relied on reaching Raftel, completing a feat that no one had achieved in 800 years, and Thor reached such a position entirely due to his terrifying strength and heaven-defying record. And the most heaven-defying thing is that the current Thor is only 20 years old. At such an age, he is so powerful and has achieved such great achievements. No wonder the world government ranks Thor and the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Dragon, as the most vicious criminals in the world. You know, Roger was already in his 50s when he arrived at Raftel. For a long time to come, the name of the era will be Thor. Thor has completely become the symbol of the new era of pirates. Countless young pirates regard him as a role model. Their biggest wish is to join the Sky Shadow Pirates and become one of them. After Thor annexed the BIGMOM pirates, his power reached a new peak. Many people began to speculate that Thor's next goal is world government. It is not difficult to guess that Thor has no opponent now, and the only possible one is the world government that has ruled the world for 800 years. A war that will completely change the world will definitely break out between the two in the future. At the headquarters of the Revolutionary Army, Long, who was wearing a cloak, put down the newspaper in his hand in amazement, praising Thor's feats. Your Excellency Amber is so amazing. Sabo beside him started to speak incoherently. He could not think of any words to express his inner admiration. Sabo was a loyal fan of Thor. After Thor rescued his sworn brother Ace, his admiration became like the water of the Yangtze River and was out of control. Unfortunately, the 3 brothers never had a chance to reunite, and even Ace and Luffy didn't know that he was still alive. Amber Boy is really an incredible man. When Lightning and I were able to escape, it was all thanks to Amber Boy. A strange man with a big face, lipstick and black stockings next to him exclaimed. This person is Ivankov, a senior cadre of the Revolutionary Army and the king of the New World Transvestite Island. He was originally imprisoned in Impel Down, but Amber caused a disturbance in Impel Down, not only severely injuring the Warden Magellan, but also taking away the Warden, Aim no Shiryu, making Impel Down's defenses into an unprecedented weakness. You must know that the reason why Impel Down has been awarded the honors of Iron Wall and Indestructible is largely due to the existence of these two strong men. Ivankov took the opportunity to lead his subordinate Lightning and others to implement a prison escape plan, and escaped a lot of prisoners, making Impel Down a complete joke. The next step is the final stage. This is what Thor wants to tell us with this action. Long said in a deep voice. Long has always felt that cooperating with Thor is the most correct thing he has done in his life. It requires money, strength, and does not interfere with your development at all. I will probably never find another such a good partner. The cooperation between the two has become increasingly close in the past 2 years. Thor's subordinate Zoro has funded the Revolutionary Army with a large number of weapons and resources, and the Revolutionary Army has used these to plan in the 4 seas of the world government's back garden, southeast, northwest and northwest. It has caused many revolutionary events and even instigated rebellion in several large-scale alliance countries, which has caused a lot of headaches for the world government. Ha ha ha, let's have a good fight next. Dirty world government and celestial dragons go to hell. Oh oh oh. Hearing Long's words, the Revolutionary Army cheered excitedly. While everyone was cheering, the dragons had already begun to think about overthrowing the world government. After they and Thor. Holy Land Mariajoy, meeting room dedicated to the 5 elders. Marine failed. It's as expected, that man is too strong. What do you think of Akainu's reaction? How else can we look at it? Aokiji did the right thing in this matter. Since it is no longer possible to complete the task, it is better to retain its vitality. Akainu said he lost face, so what does that count? His face. His face is nothing. Akainu. Author, I am XXX, are you finished with XXX? The next step will be as we speculated. Thor will unify the new world. Trouble. He is really an incredible man. He can suppress so many legends. This is something that even Roger could not do back then. Maybe only rocks back then. We have no way to deal with Thor. Quote. Tap tap tap. While the 5 elders were discussing, a slender figure slowly appeared. The 5 elders immediately fell to their knees. King. It is the true controller of the world government, the master of the void throne, Lord I Am. I Am ignored the 5 people kneeling on the ground and slowly walked to the desk with the huge world map. Wano Kuni's location is marked with a prominent red circle on the map. People who shouldn't exist. Erase them. I Am picked up the pen next to him, and a cold voice slowly came out. Then he drew a big cross in Wano Kuni's place. At the same time, a dazzling light appeared in the sky above Wano Kuni. Chapter 211 Uranus's Attack. After forcing Marine back on the front line, Amber and others returned to Wano Kuni on the Thor. Oops, it's finally over. Nami stretched and shouted. Fighting is the most annoying thing. Only people like the idiot captain like it. Perona complained while flying in midair. Perona, even if you don't want to fight, you still have to have the power to protect yourself. You still have to practice hard. Amber said helplessly. I know. The idiot captain is so verbose. Perona said impatiently. In this way, amid the noise, everyone dispersed. Amber found Robin alone. Robin, how is the cracking of the historical text going? Amber asked. It has been cracked, but the content is incomplete. There are still 2 pieces missing. Robin Kaido. The road sign leading to Raftel, the final island, is marked on 4 red historical texts. To reach the final island, you must collect all 4 historical texts. It's not enough to collect 4 pieces of historical text. Someone with the Grandmaster's ancient text must also be able to decipher it. Back then, Roger collected 4 historical texts and borrowed Kazuki Oden from Whitebeard to successfully decipher the road sign, finally reached Raftel, and was crowned the Pirate King. It's a pity that Roger came too early, 20 years too early. Amber is now on the same path as Roger, and has already obtained 2 out of 4. After defeating Kaido, I got a piece from Ghost Island. After defeating Bigmom, I got another piece from Cake Island. There is a piece in Zo, but Amber never had time to get it. As for the last piece, it was originally on the Fishman Island, but I don't know where it went afterwards. Amber traveled to this world before the old thief Oda announced it. It doesn't matter if you can get the best or if you can't. After all, Amber's purpose is only to kill the world government. After overthrowing the world government, all the secrets covered by the world government will be revealed. If you can't find the last piece of red historical text, just leave it to Luffy. Isn't he shouting that he wants to be the Pirate King all day long? Thank you for your hard work, Robin. Amber held Robin's hand tightly. It's okay, it's also my long-cherished wish to decipher the historical text. Can you, please let go first? Robin tried to withdraw his hands in embarrassment. Open, only a fool would let go. Amber directly pulled Robin into her arms, holding Robin's waist tightly with her left hand, and began to touch dishonestly with her right hand. Quote. No. It's still daytime, what if someone comes later? Robin gasped and resisted Amber. Can that be done at night? Hee. Idiot. Come to me tonight. Let go now. After saying that, he struggled to run away. We're already an old couple, and yet we're so shy. Amber laughed. Then he turned around and headed to Frankie's laboratory. Frankie often does some weird stuff here. Hey, boss Amber. Frankie saw Amber and put down the tools in his hands to say hello. Frankie, what are you studying recently? Amber asked strangely. Hey, I'm working on a secret weapon, just wait for you to be surprised. Frankie, how is the construction of that thing going? Amber asked seriously. The main part has been completed, but the torso is still a little bit different. But don't worry, it will be completed in a while. Frankie patted his chest and said with confidence. What Frankie is building is Pluton, one of the 3 ancient weapons. This work had already started when Amber and others defeated Kaido and settled in Wano Kuni. Pluton's design drawings are firmly in Frankie's mind, and he can start building them at any time if he wants. Frankie originally did not intend to let this terrible weapon reappear in the world, but his captain's purpose was to overthrow the world government, and his mentor, the fishman Tom, died at the hands of the world government. If he said he did not want revenge, he would definitely is fake. After careful consideration, Frankie started building Pluton. Thank you for your hard work, Frankie. I also want to do my part to overthrow the Dark World government. Frankie said firmly. The two chatted for a while, then Amber turned and left. Amber then continued to check out work in other places. Beep beep beep. Emergency. Emergency. At this moment, the system that had not been seen for a long time suddenly appeared and sounded a piercing alarm. System, what happened? Amber asked quickly. Host, please be careful. There is a huge energy gathering right above the host. The energy is so huge that it can wipe the island in front of you from the map. Extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. Please be careful to avoid, host. The system kept saying. Alert. What? Amber looked up suddenly. A dazzling light suddenly emitted from the sky above Wano Kuni, even covering up the light of the sun, covering every inch of Wano Kuni. Almost at the same time, all the powerful men in Wano Kuni looked up at the sky and felt this energy that destroyed the world. The light became more and more dazzling, and the entire sea area was constantly shaking. Chapter 212 50 times increase, terrifying 10,000-meter body. As this Uranus, one of the 3 ancient weapons. Amber looked at the bright light in the sky and frowned. Boo-hoo. Several figures appeared next to Amber. They were Yishao, Golden Lion, and Ryder. The 3 of them were the strongest members of the Sky Shadow Pirates besides Amber. Captain, what should we do now? Do we want to stop the attack together? Yishao asked. I can also try to use the Lion Fruit ability to move this island away from here. Golden Lion suggested. No, the attack is coming soon, it's too late. We can only try to attack together. Ryder denied. Although the attack in the sky is very powerful, even if they attack together, they may not be able to stop it, but it is better than doing nothing. No, Amber shook her head and refused. Captain, are you just giving up like this? Yishao frowned. Thunderboy, do you want to? Ryder said, I'm coming alone. Boy Thunderbolt, are you kidding me? If you want to die, don't drag me with you. The Golden Lion on the side was furious. Not long after he regained his youth, he was going to die with this madman. He is not willing to give in. I'm not kidding, I'm serious. Amber said seriously, and then flew into the sky without any explanation. Is he a madman? I actually lost to a madman. Golden Lion said with confusion on his face. Haha, Mr. Shiki, the captain has always been like this, you just need to get used to it in the future. Yishao said with a helpless smile. I hope Thunderbolt Boy can stop him. Otherwise I have to change places again. Ryder sighed. He wasn't worried at all, with his speed he was more than capable of escaping from Wano Kuni before the attack landed. Amber's eyes slowly turned blood red in midair, and Sharingan appeared quietly. Rows of red skeletons emerged around Li Yi, followed by flesh and armor, and finally slowly expanded into a 200-meter tall armored giant. Susanoo appeared again. Of course, this alone would not be able to stop such a large-scale attack. Last time, we killed the lantern monster fish 10 times, 2,000 meters away, so next time. Momo 50 times increase, Amber whispered. Buzz buzz. Susanoo continued to expand amidst the buzzing sound, and finally turned into a real sky-high giant 10,000 meters, higher than the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, in Amber's original world. Don't worry about it. It's a cool article anyway, no matter how cool it is. After Amber has developed Momo Fruit for such a long time, it has been able to develop from the initial 10 times increase to the current 50 times increase. The reason why it only uses 10 times increase in normal times is because Amber's strength itself is in this world. At the top level, almost no one can stop an attack with a 10-fold increase. Even Whitebeard, who holds the title of the strongest man in the world, was defeated by Amber in one blow. There is no need for a higher increase. From here we can also see how rubbish the original owner of the Momo Fruit, Burndy World, who holds the title of World Destroyer, is. With such a powerful fruit, the 100-fold increase is lost to Luffy, who has not even developed the 4th level. If its real strength is in Marine, it is probably a Rear Admiral strength, or even lower, with a 100-fold increase, and its attack power reaches the level of Emperor and Deputy, but its defense power can only be described as haha. Momo Fruit, the Devil Fruit, can only exert its power in the hands of a strong person. For example, Whitebeard can use Earthquake with a 100-fold increase, not to mention Naval Headquarters, Red Line can shatter it for you. Susanoo slowly opened its body to reach 10,000 meters, and its wings stretched to a terrifying 20,000 meters long, blocking Wano Kuni, truly blocking the sky and the sun. What kind of monster is this? Golden Lion opened his mouth wide and said in shock, completely losing the image of a legendary pirate. Compared with this guy, other people called monsters are nothing to mention. Ryder also lost his image, completely losing his usual polite and gentlemanly image. As expected, Captain, you are the only one who can accomplish the goal of overthrowing the world government. Yishao said in admiration. Did the general do that? Our general is a god. God, God, God. When the people of Wano Kuni saw this shocking scene, they all knelt down and cheered and screamed. At this moment, Amber became a god in the hearts of the people of Wano Kuni. Call out. The sky became brighter and brighter, and the last huge pillar of destruction suddenly descended from the sky, carrying the aura of destruction, like the punishment of gods and the revenge of demons. Everything trembled and trembled under this pillar of light, except for that majestic figure. Boom. The dazzling light instantly swallowed up everything in front of them, stinging everyone's eyes and forcing everyone to block their sight. Chapter 213 The True Face of Uranus. The 7 most famous plus-size models in the world. More. 532. 133. 177. The light gradually dissipated, and everyone could barely open their eyes, but the shocking explosion still echoed in everyone's ears. What happened? What happened just now? Is it just God's punishment for us? People in Wano Kuni exclaimed and still don't know what happened. This is the sadness at the bottom of this world, being killed and destroyed, and not even knowing what happened at the last moment. This is probably destroying you. What does it have to do with you? Single quote. Soon after, Susanoo's 10,000-meter body appeared in front of everyone again. It seems that the Thunderbolt boy blocked it. Golden Lion said with a sigh of relief. Ha ha ha, it seems I don't have to change places. Ryder laughed. As expected of the captain. Yishao said in admiration, gradually showing a tendency to change. Red line, Holy Land Mariajoy. Blocked. I am, covered in robes, frowned. There was a trace of confusion and doubt in a pair of eyes with double circles of strange pupils. She didn't expect that Uranus's attack was blocked. In the past 800 years, no one has been able to block Uranus's attack, except for the original battle with Joy Boy. Back then, Joey Boy didn't block it head-on. Instead, he turned part of the red line into rubber, deflected Uranus's attack, and blocked it head-on. Over the years, there was really only Amber. Interesting. Haha. I am suddenly laughed out loud. Amber's performance caused a ripple in her soul that had been quiet for many years. The 5 elders who heard Im's laughter looked extremely shocked. Their king actually laughed. This is a strange thing that has not happened in 800 years. Since they followed Yimu, they have never seen Yimu show any emotion. He was like a god without emotions. Today he actually smiled. Then continue and see how many blocks you can block. IM quickly regained his composure and said coldly. As expected of one of the 3 ancient weapons, it almost broke through Susanoo's defense. Amber sighed. Uranus's attack power is far more powerful than Whitebeard's shock fruit, and Amber estimates it is about 10 times more powerful. If this attack falls on Wano Kuni will undoubtedly be completely destroyed, and even the sea area where Wano Kuni is located will be blasted with a bottomless giant hole. But Amber still blocked it. There might still be a gap between him and IM, but it was definitely not as big as imagined. Just when Amber breathed a sigh of relief, the sky suddenly lit up again. What the hell? Are you still here? No, you must not resist any longer, otherwise Susanoo will definitely collapse. Amber frowned. Then 2 giant swords appeared in Susanoo's hands following Amber's thoughts, and the giant swords crossed into an X shape. Call out. The beam of light with a destructive aura came down again, and Amber controlled Susanoo to go straight up. You definitely can't hide at this time. Once you hide, Wano Kuni below will be finished. Bang. The beam of light was firmly blocked by Susanoo with her giant sword, and the 2 sides fell into a brief struggle. After a stalemate for a while, Amber suddenly exerted force and instantly chopped the light beam into pieces. The power is much less than the attack just now. It is only about 3 times more powerful than Whitebeard's attack. Amber thought that the attack just now was Uranus's basic attack, which could be launched casually, but now it seems that Amber is simply overthinking. How can such a powerful attack be used casually? Even if there is no cost, it still requires a certain amount of energy storage time. But Amber is sure that this is definitely not Uranus's greatest attack. If there is enough time to accumulate energy, it may really be able to blast through the entire One Piece planet with one blow. There is nothing to be afraid of next. You can block any number of attacks of this magnitude. Amber laughed. Then several light beams shot down from the sky again, but they were all blocked by Amber. I want to see what the legendary Uranus is. Then Amber controlled Susanoo to fly high into the sky. During this period, beams of destruction light kept coming, but they were all blocked by Amber. After flying for a while, when they were about to reach the atmosphere, Amber saw a huge figure. Even Susanoo, who was 10,000 meters tall, looked so small in front of this figure. The huge body is more than 10 times longer than Susanoo, about 100,000 meters long. As the altitude continued to rise, Amber gradually saw the huge creature in front of her clearly, a creature that resembled an eastern dragon. The true face of Uranus is a giant dragon 100,000 meters long that is constantly circling the surface of the planet. The dragon that Kaido transformed into was already big enough, but he was like an earthworm in front of this huge creature. Such a huge body. No wonder it is said to have the power to destroy the world. Just do nothing and drop it from this height. All living things on this planet will perish. Amber said in shock. All plots and data are made up. The planet of One Piece set here is much larger than the Earth. Friends who like to care about it, please don't take it seriously. Chapter 214 Confronting I.M. Amber soon discovered that the huge creature in front of her had no self-awareness at all, and was just floating there following instinct. So he carefully controlled Susanoo's approach, and the giant creature didn't make any movement. It just opened its mouth and stood there, as if it was accumulating energy for the next attack. It seems like this is a biological weapon, and it should be controlled remotely. Amber murmured. I am in the holy land of Mariajoy instantly sensed Amber's presence through Uranus. It's really unexpected that we came here. I am whispered. Then he controlled Uranus to stop accumulating energy and slowly turned his head towards Amber. Quote question mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Amber was startled by Uranus's sudden turn of head, and then realized that the person who controlled Uranus had discovered her. Amber shouted at Uranus. You should be the only one who can control Uranus. The real master of the world government, I am. Uranus still didn't respond, looking at Amber coldly with his huge pupils. After a while, a ray of light suddenly shot out from Uranus's eyes. Amber thought it was an attack and quickly summoned an 8-foot mirror to block it in front of her. The result was not an attack, the light gradually turned into a huge figure, with a range of more than 1,000 meters. The person in the image was wearing a black cloak, completely covering his face. His appearance could not be seen clearly, only his slender figure could be seen. You are the legendary Lord I Am. Amber looked at the huge image and said in shock. I have no idea whether what I see in front of me is the power of technology or Im's own ability. Amber never expected to meet the real behind-the-scenes boss of this world like this. Why do you know me? A cold voice that could not be distinguished as male or female came over, but you could still hear the doubtful tone in it. Haha, guess what? You must think that you are hiding well. You think that no one in this world except the 5 elders knows about your existence. After all, the world that has ruled this world for 800 years has long since wiped everything clean. Yes, Amber laughed. He wanted to see Im's surprised expression, but it was completely blocked by the cloak, which was a pity. Unexpectedly, Im's next words made Amber break her guard. You are not from this world. Upon hearing Im's words, Amber's pupils froze instantly, and the smile on her face stopped there. I am, why do you know that he comes from other worlds? He has never told anyone about this matter, not even the 3 closest to him, Nami, Robin, and Hancock. Amber quickly called out the system in her mind. It's not that he's worried about his secret being revealed, but that he's worried about Im's hidden strength. System, what's going on? Why does I Am know that I'm from another world? Amber asked. Ding, host, although the system can extract items from all realms, it is not omnipotent and cannot directly see the voices of others, so this system is not very clear either. System Kaido. You don't even know. This I Am is weird. Amber frowned. After finishing the short conversation with the system, he looked at I Am in front of him again. As expected of the legendary Lord I Am, you actually know this. I have never found a person like you in the past or in the future, so you can only come from other worlds. I didn't expect that there really are other worlds. I Am sighed. You showed up today just to confirm that. No, there are other worlds that don't have a great influence on me. It's your existence. That's wrong. I'm just here to correct this. I Am said calmly. After hearing Im's words, Amber secretly became vigilant. Uranus suddenly opened his huge mouth and bit at Susanoo. With Uranus's size, he could completely swallow Susanoo, who was 10,000 meters tall. Want to kill me? It's not that simple, Amber sneered. The 8-foot mirror in his hand instantly enlarged and stood in front of him. Bang, boom. Uranus hit the 8-foot mirror hard, making a loud noise. Amber was also hit by the huge impact and retreated continuously, flying more than 100,000 meters away. Click. The extreme power brought by Uranus's huge size caused cracks to appear on the 8-foot mirror instantly. Bang, boom. The loud sound can be heard clearly even by people on the ground. What happened up there? That kid won't die on it, right? No, I believe in the captain's strength. Knowing that Amber was immortal, Yi Xiao ignored Golden Lion's nonsense. Zizzy. Suddenly there was lightning and thunder around Uranus. Obviously, as Uranus, it is easy for him to control the power of thunder and lightning. Countless violent thunder and lightning formed a sea of thunder and attacked Amber. If this move is used below, everything in such a large area of the sea will be reduced to coke. If it moves, it will destroy the country. This is the power of ancient weapon. Chapter 215 Battle with Uranus. Countless violent thunder and lightning surged towards Susanoo like an overwhelming force. If other people, even a strong man like Whitebeard, could only dodge such a terrifying attack, even within such a large range, it's unclear whether they could dodge it. Unfortunately, the target of this attack is Amber, the god of thunder. The last thing this world needs is people who are afraid of lightning attacks, because Amber itself is lightning. He actually used a lightning attack on me. It seems that this I Am Sama's IQ is not very high. Maybe he is similar to a boss like Otsutsuki Kagaya. Amber laughed. Amber was not defensive, and controlled Susanoo to open her hands as if to hug her. Boom. The terrifying sea of thunder instantly engulfed Susanoo, but soon emerged again. Zizzy. Thunder and lightning seemed to have returned home, scrambling for the first place. Amber also refused to come, but it did not cause any harm to Amber. On the contrary, it was absorbed by Amber. After the thunder and lightning stopped, Uranus did not stop attacking, twisting his huge body again and hitting Amber. A perfect demonstration that big is strong. Bigness is power. Bigness is invincibility. Just like humans can easily crush an ant. Of course, if there are 100,000 ants, then run away quickly. This time, Amber did not resist. When she stretched out her hand, 2 giant swords appeared in her hands. She raised them above her head and began to accumulate strength. Zzzz. Red light shines on the giant sword, and black lightning looms around it, which is obviously a sign of excessive accumulation of power. Prehistoric, the sky split open and the earth split apart. 2 huge sword energy, 100,000 meters long, slashed out instantly, slashing towards Uranus's huge body in an X cross shape. The sharp sword energy cut through the void, as if it was about to cut down the aloof god from the altar. Uranus could feel that this attack was enough to break through its hard skin and threaten its life. The biological instinct made it stop charging and opened its mouth suddenly. A beam of destructive light formed instantly. Under IM's control, it didn't require long-term energy storage like relying on instinct. Call out. The pillar of destruction light carrying the terrifying pressure was fiercely launched, and wherever it passed, the space was shattered like a mirror. This space fragmentation was not caused by using the fruit's ability like Whitebeard, it was purely because this space could not withstand such powerful energy. Bang. Boom. The 2 attacks collided at extremely high speed, causing an explosion that resounded throughout the world. The sound was so loud that it spread throughout the entire planet in an instant. Click. Click. Bang. The originally shaky space collapsed instantly. A radius of 10,000 meters turned into a huge black hole, wildly devouring everything around it. Wano-kuni. Boom. The explosion first reached Wano-kuni, who was directly below. Such big movement. What happened up there? Perona looked at the dazzling light high in the sky in shock. Amber must have met a powerful enemy. Zoro frowned Kaido. How is it possible that anyone can fight like this with Amber? Even Whitebeard was defeated by Amber's hands. Nami said in disbelief. Quote. Boom. The red-haired and others who were rushing to Wano-kuni looked up at the sky in surprise. What happened up there? Isn't it because the sun is going to fall? Leikalu half joked. Such a big movement, it looks like someone is fighting above. Ben Beckman analyzed carefully. The only one who can make such a move is Thor, but I don't know who his opponent is. Usopp said doubtfully. We have to speed up. The red hair said. At this time, the red-haired face was full of seriousness and solemnity, completely different from the idiot captain in the past, and he obviously felt the seriousness of the matter. Naval headquarters. Boom. Holy shit, what happened? Is it the god of thunder calling? Idiot. How is that possible? This is the Marine headquarters. The soldiers were startled by the terrifying loud noise and started talking among themselves. That direction is Wano-kuni. Aokiji frowned, then looked at the deserted corner. Did your captain do it? I saw a figure wearing a black cloak slowly walking out of the corner. Marshal Aokiji, I don't quite understand what happened. But what I can confirm is that no matter what happens, our captain can handle it. The figure said. Forget it, now let's talk about the purpose of your coming. The pirate who calls himself Hiei. Yes, this person is one of Amber's 2 hidden trump cards, among the Shadow Brothers, the ruthless brother Feiying, a dark fruit ability user, with a comprehensive combat power of 8.5 stars, infinitely close to Admiral. Marshal Aokiji, our captain asked me to bring you a message. What words? Want to find true justice. Chapter 216 Secret Alliance Marine. Real justice. What do you mean by that? Are pirates worthy of talking about justice? Aokiji said disdainfully. Hehe. Marshal Aokiji, what are you thinking? When you knew my identity as a pirate, you still didn't choose to attack. Isn't it already obvious? Hiei laughed. Hearing this, Aokiji's face instantly darkened, and then he asked, what do you mean, Captain? The captain's intention is obvious. Let Marine become a sword that truly upholds justice. A sword that upholds justice. Aokiji repeated thoughtfully, then recalled what Thor had done since his debut, and said, tell me more about it. Obviously, Thor has done more righteous things than Marine, liberating slaves, fighting pirates, funding the construction of towns, roads, etc. In the eyes of some civilians, Thor has a better reputation than Marine. The reason for this result is that Amber is well aware of the importance of public opinion battles, and has reached a cooperation with Morgans, who is trying to avoid the pursuit of the world government, and spares no effort to promote Thor's hero image. Of course, Amber also paid a large amount of cooperation fee, but the most important thing is that the office location of New World Economic News Agency is within Thor's sphere of influence. Morgans has offended the world government, so naturally he will not offend Thor again, and even rely on the power of Thor to protect yourself. Marine was originally a just organization, but after all, under the world government, because of the world government's orders, it had to do many evil things that went against justice and even against conscience. What our captain means is to turn Marine into a completely independent organization that does not serve any organization or individual and specializes in safeguarding justice in the world. You mean, to separate Marine from world government? That's right. Upon hearing this suggestion, Aokiji gasped for a moment. Although he had thought about this idea, he still couldn't help but be surprised when it was actually mentioned. Only after he became Marshal Marine did he understand how difficult it was for Marshal Sengoku. Marshal Marine seems to command all Marines and has great power, but this is not the case at all. Marshal Marine is completely controlled by the world government, which is basically equivalent to the puppet of the world government ruling Marine. He has no decision-making power at all on many important matters, only the right to make suggestions. For example, if a country disobeys the world government decides to carry out an inhumane buster call against that country, wiping out the entire country. At this time, even if Marshal Marine objects, it will have no effect. In the Ohara incident that year, most of the people on Marine's side were opposed to it, and only some extremists were in favor of it, but what's the use? The people of Ohara were all ruthlessly slaughtered. After all, Marine is just a tool for the world government to rule the world, and the world government doesn't care what the tool thinks. Aokiji also tried to change the status quo, but the reality was cruel and it had no effect at all. After the shock, Aokiji couldn't help but have the thought, it would be great if Marine could break away from the world government. But it is simply impossible, because the funds for Marine's formation come from the countries that are members of the world government. As long as the world government cuts off funding, Marine will not be able to pay the soldiers wages, and it will collapse within a month. After all, we cannot let everyone generate electricity for love and devote themselves to justice for free. Your suggestion makes no sense at all, it's impossible, Aokiji said calmly to Kaido. It might not be possible under normal circumstances, but the war is coming soon. Fei Ying said with a smile. War. Thor. Of course, otherwise why do you think our captain wanted to annex the BIGMOM pirates? Let me tell you another news. Whitebeard also expressed his surrender to our captain a few days ago. Now there is only one redhead left in the four emperors. What? Even Whitebeard? Aokiji said in shock, then shook his head and said, even if Thor rules the entire new world, I still don't see any chance for you. You don't understand how much the world government hides. The power of terror. Haha, Marshal Aokiji, you don't understand our captain. If our captain wants to do something, he will definitely succeed. Hiei said excitedly, admiring his captain to the extreme, like those brainwashed fanatics molecular. What do you want me to do? Aokiji was obviously moved. This is not to say that his stance is not firm. If he were a pirate who did all kinds of evil and killed countless people, he would have taken action long ago. But Thor is obviously different. In addition, after more than a year of fighting, I have seen the true nature of world government, and I am completely disappointed. Our captain's intention is that you should stay hidden for now, develop your own power, and try to gain more say in the Marine. The next step is to wait. Just wait for the opportunity to come, and jointly attack to completely bury this ugly monster world government. Chapter 217 The battle ends. On the other side, over Wano Kuni. The powerful attacks of Amber and Uranus shattered the space barrier in the One Piece world, creating a huge space crack that wildly devoured everything around it. Yeah, Amber desperately controlled Susanoo to fly outward, trying to escape the terrifying suction force of the space crack. The terrifying pressure formed by the space cracks kept squeezing Susanoo, causing cracks in the outer armor. This is just the gravity of a space crack. If it were the legendary black hole, this planet would probably be swallowed up. Terrifying pressure also continued to act on Uranus. Although it had no self-awareness, it was a living creature after all, and its biological instinct made it scream. System, is there anything you can do? I can't hold on any longer. Amber didn't know if this space rift could kill his immortal self, but he didn't want to gamble. His immortal body is not the real immortal body. The source comes from Majin Buu in Dragon Ball world. Even Buu was killed. He is not sure whether his pirated version can block the turbulence of space. Even if it can be blocked, there is no telling where it will float after being sucked in. Is it outer space, other worlds, or a lonely place of nothingness? Ding. Host. After analysis, this space crack was caused by the powerful attack of Host and the enemy that broke the space barrier of One Piece world. It is extremely unstable. As long as there is strong external interference, it will collapse. After the collapse, the world consciousness will repair itself. System Kaido. Strong external interference. In other words, as long as I attack the center position once, will it be enough? Yes, Host. Host's attack has completely reached the level of interfering with space cracks. That's easy to handle. Amber smiled. Then he gave up the struggle completely and allowed the terrifying suction force to suck him in. Stretching out his right hand, a lightning spear tens of thousands of meters appeared in Susanoo's hand. Amber gathered all her strength to continuously strengthen and compress the thunder gun. Zzzz. The terrifying thunder and lightning energy was accumulated too much, and it continued to wreak havoc in the surroundings with Susanoo as the center. After accumulating strength, Amber aimed the thunder gun at the space crack. The ultimate god-killing spear. Then he threw it out hard. Call out. The thunder gun flew toward the space rift at an extremely fast speed, and soon reached the space rift. Boom. The moment it reached the space crack, it exploded suddenly, producing a huge explosion like a nuclear explosion, which affected the entire space crack. The space crack began to shake violently, began to shrink continuously, and finally disappeared completely. Finally, closed. Seeing the space crack disappear, Amber couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief, but immediately became vigilant. The huge dragon-shaped creature was still nearby. Just when Amber was ready, Uranus suddenly stopped moving, and the image of I am emerged from Uranus's eyes again. You are very strong. Let's get here first today. I had a great time. I thought you would be as vulnerable as those who resisted before, but the result was beyond my expectation. I hope you can hold on for a long time. A little, give me a little more fun. I am said lightly. Then he controlled Uranus to fly into outer space, where it was obvious that Uranus usually stayed. I am, you are worthy of being the final boss. He pushed me to this point without even taking action himself. It's really interesting. Amber laughed. After the Summit War, he thought he was invincible, but now someone stronger than him has appeared, of course he is happy. The 10,000-meter-high Susanoo gradually became illusory, finally disappeared, and then flew downwards. Captain, who is the enemy above? It actually puts you in a difficult battle. Ryder asked seriously. Originally, he thought that except for the monster Amber, his strength was at its peak in this world, but he didn't expect that another terrifyingly powerful monster appeared. He sensed the entire battle at high altitude just now. Any attack from both sides could seriously injure him, which made him feel extremely threatened. Everyone couldn't help but look over, wanting to know how powerful the enemy that put Amber in a tough fight was. His identity, the true ruler of the world government, the mastermind behind the collapse of the huge kingdom 800 years ago, the master of the 5 elders, I am. Amber said seriously. What? Everyone was shocked when they heard this terrifying answer. Captain Stupid, are you kidding me? Aren't the rulers of the world government, the 5 elders? Also, what does 800 years ago mean? How can someone live 800 years? Perona was in disbelief. Explain. He did. Not only did he do it, the 5 elders probably did it too. How could such a thing happen? Did they also get pure gold? Nami said. No, the method they use is much better than pure gold. There are basically no restrictions. This method has something to do with Luo. Is it related to me? Luo pointed at himself and asked doubtfully. Chapter 218 Red Hair Comes. Yes, it is said that after Fruit awakens, he can perform immortality surgery on designated people. People who have been subjected to the immortality surgery will get rid of the shackles of physical aging, and there will be no side effects of pure gold. They can still become transformed through practice. Strong. Amber explained. Hey, isn't that great? I didn't expect the person wearing the hat to be so good. Perona praised Luo. I see. No wonder Doflamingo cared so much about this Fruit. Luo recalled. Then why are we trying so hard to find pure gold? Why don't we wait until Luo wakes up and give each of us an immortality surgery? Nami asked doubtfully. Nami, you think too simply. Everything is conserved. If you gain something, you will lose something. If you want to gain immortality, the price is the life of the caster. What? Everyone was shocked when they heard this condition. This is so unfair to the caster. Perona looked at Luo with sympathetic eyes again. Look at what I do. I won't do any immortality surgery for others. Luo Kaido said with a dark face. So, our enemies are a group of old monsters that have lived for 800 years. That's right. This is the scariest thing. The immortality surgery does not have the side effects of pure gold, which means they can continue to become stronger. In 800 years, it is impossible to imagine how strong they have become. No wonder no one in history has been able to successfully resist. The longer time passes, the stronger they become and their rule becomes stronger. Then if we are still enemies with them, aren't we seeking death? Perona said in fear. Perona, it's too late to regret now. Amber looked at Perona and couldn't help but tease her. It's all the stupid captain's fault. He had to pull me on board in the first place. He was clearly hiding well on the terrifying sailboat. Perona complained. Ha ha ha, who told you to be weaker than me? Ha ha ha. The two people's play dispelled the gloom in everyone's hearts, and they laughed happily. Do it or die, everyone, we have no retreat. Yes, Captain. Another day passed, and the Red Hair Pirates ship finally approached Wanokuni. Report to the general, the Red Hair Pirates are here. The intelligence officer reported. Oh, I still wanted to find them. I didn't expect them to come to my door. Amber said in surprise. This time, he was not as alert as last time and let Red Hair Pirates sail into the port directly. Everyone from Red Hair Pirates, welcome to come again. Amber from the shore personally greeted Red Hair Pirates. The Red Hair Pirates are now the last obstacle to the unification of the new world. Amber naturally attaches great importance to it. Being able to complete the unification without fighting is what Amber hopes to see most. Amber is a little tired of the pirate game and just wants to speed up and overthrow the world government. Thor, you are too polite. Shanks laughed. Then everyone from the Red Hair Pirates was welcomed into a luxurious living room, where a large amount of delicious food was prepared for the Red Hair Pirates to eat. Thor God, long time no see, let me toast you first. Shanks laughed, holding up the glass, and then drank it all. Redhead, I wonder why you are here this time. Amber asked knowingly. Thor God, you certainly know the purpose of our coming. Whitebeard has surrendered to you. The red-haired expression instantly became serious. That is to say, among the 4 emperors, I am the only one left. Since you've already said it red-haired, I'll also say it bluntly. The new world must be unified, no one is exempted, including the 4 emperors. Amber said straight to the point. After hearing Amber's words, the originally harmonious atmosphere suddenly became tense. As Mr. Thor too overpowering. Ben Beckman, sitting next to the red-haired man, laughed. Ha ha ha, being strong also requires being strong, and I just have it. Amber Kaido. Redhead, what did you say? Me. The red-haired man picked up the wine glass and took a sip, then said, let's have a fight. The winner is determined. Sure enough, you still have to choose to fight. None of the 4 emperors is easy. Clown King Buggy. Me. After the decision was made, the atmosphere became lively again. Ha ha ha, Thor, you really looked like you deserved a beating just now. The red-haired man patted Amber's shoulder and laughed. Redhead, you think you deserve a beating now? Kaido. Amber's face darkened. Ha ha ha, don't be so stingy, come on, have another drink. By the way, Thor, who fought with you yesterday? The red-haired man suddenly remembered the dazzling white light and loud noise in the sky yesterday, and asked doubtfully. The real controller of the world government, I am. Amber casually said Kaido. That's it. The redhead laughed. Seeing that the red-haired man didn't look surprised at all, Amber was a little surprised. Could it be that the red-haired man knew about I am? Then I remembered the speculation about the red-haired life experience analyzed by netizens in the previous life. You can meet the 5 elders alone. After the Battle of the Valley of the Gods, you were picked up by Roger. The Red Hair. Chapter 219 Red Hair defeated. The next day, Amber and Red Hair arrived on time on the island where they agreed to fight. Fighting at their level, with a little bit of strength, would destroy the world, so it was naturally impossible to fight in Wano Kuni. The two stood 100 meters apart. Thor God, it has been more than a year since the last battle. Time flies so fast. I just don't know how much stronger you have become. I heard that even Whitebeard lost to you. The red-haired man laughed. Then he slowly pulled out his favorite knife, Griffin. How many versions of your news are you behind? You want to know my current strength? Then give it a try. Amber shrugged and said casually. Then come on. Tap tap tap. The red-haired man quickly rushed towards Amber, held Griffin horizontally, and slashed out. Amber punched without hesitation. Clang. The fists and swords collided together, making a loud noise. Zzzz. Violent black lightning instantly exploded between the two of them. The two of them separated immediately, and the red-haired man quickly swung Griffin to slash out several sharp sword energy, attacking Amber. Amber clenched her right hand, and a thunder sword appeared in her hand, and then chopped all the sword energy into pieces. Seeing that ordinary sword energy was useless, the red-haired man grasped Griffin tightly and began to accumulate strength, and instantly slashed out a sword energy of 100 meters. Amber didn't even look at it, but when she raised her hand, there was a violent thunder and lightning. Call out. Zzzz. Boom. Thunder and lightning and sword energy suddenly clashed together, instantly stirring up dust all over the sky. In the dust, the two sides approached again. Dang dang dang. A fierce swordsmanship battle began. After such a long period of practice, Amber's swordsmanship has also changed from average to now specialized, although it is still not as good as Zoro, who relies on swords for a living. With his strong sense of knowledge, he was not inferior to the red-haired swordsman. After another exchange of blows, the two separated again. That's the end of the warm-up. Amber laughed. Just right. I'm going to use all my strength next. Kaido, a serious red-haired man. He has already felt the difference in strength between the two. You must know that Amber can beat 4 emperors BIGMOM violently even in normal state. As the 4 emperors, BIGMOM's strength is undoubted, and the gap between the original 4 emperors is so small that it can be ignored. You can imagine how much pressure the red hair is facing at this time. The red-haired man held Griffin tightly, began to accumulate strength, and then slashed out fiercely, with the powerful Conqueror's Haki wrapped around the knife. The knife covering Conquerors broke the air in silence and turned into a silver light heading towards Amber. This sword looks simple and unpretentious, but it seems to carry the power of heaven and earth. If ordinary people face this blow, their hearts will collapse before they can defend themselves. The strongest red-haired conquerors, truly worthy of his name. Amber showed no fear, quickly located Griffin's position, and then closed her hands. Snapped. Griffin was instantly caught between his two palms. How is that possible? Seeing this scene, even the usually calm red-haired man couldn't help but change his expression. His most powerful attack was actually broken by Thor in such an understatement. When did Thor become so powerful? It seems that I lost. My strongest blow was easily blocked by you. There is no need to fight anymore. The red-haired man smiled bitterly, and then put Griffin back into the scabbard. He was able to fight the God of Thunder back and forth last time, but in just 1 year, he was no longer a match for the God of Thunder. It was really a twist of fate. How could there be such a terrifying monster like Thor in this world? So has it been decided? Since Whitebeard has chosen to surrender, then why should I hesitate? The red-haired man shook his head and said helplessly. The two then returned to Wano Kuni. Is it over so soon? In just 10 minutes, the captain lost. Thor, it's so scary. Everyone in the Red Hair Pirates sighed in unison. Next, under the witness of everyone, the Red Hair Pirates led by Red Hair announced their surrender to the Sky Shadow Pirates. The new world will finally be unified. An unprecedented feat. Exceeding the achievement of Pirate King Gall D. Roger. Everyone cheered. Amber saw that most of the islands on the map were marked with the logo of the Sky Shadow Pirates, and nodded with satisfaction. Finally got to this point. Amber called everyone together. Captain, the Red Hair Pirates have also surrendered. What should we do next? Are we going to go to war with the world government? My sword is already thirsty. Overthrow the world government and unify the world. Next, I decided to found a country. Jangwo. Chapter 220 Founding the Nation. Jangwo. Everyone was shocked by Amber's sudden plan. Can pirates still build a country? Amber, what do you mean? Nami asked. It is to integrate all the islands and countries we occupy and establish a unified government management. Amber explained briefly. Most of the content is copied from the centralized system of the previous life. The central government controls the overall situation. The local governments retain only a small part of their autonomy and are responsible for paying taxes to the central government every year. This not only prevents wars between localities, but also controls the resources of the entire country to the greatest extent, which is much better than the current world government alliance system. Another bigger benefit is that the country will no longer be ruled by the decadent royal family, but by officials who have been strictly selected by the central government and come down from the air. These officials must undergo strict inspections every year, and those who fail the assessment will have their positions revoked. Of course, this will definitely not be used by people who are close to Amber. For example, after overthrowing the world government and unifying the world, the lovely Vivi will always be a princess as long as she wants to. What? You said that excessive double standards will cause dissatisfaction. Thunder and lightning will instantly fall from the sky and kill those who disobey. Anything that can be done in the real world can basically be done here. Even ships like the Thor that can fly in the sky have been developed. As long as there is a need, the ship can be mass-produced at any time. Therefore, the framework can be copied directly, combined with the characteristics of the One Piece world, and by tinkering, we can probably create a centralized system suitable for this world. Soon the newspaper published a shocking story. Thor announced the founding of the nation, and everyone is welcome to attend the founding ceremony. Single quote. Pirates declare the founding of a nation. Although this pirate is the god of thunder, the news of the founding of the pirate nation still shocked the world. In the 800 years since the founding of world government, nothing like this has ever happened, but there have been quite a few pirates stealing the country. For example, Dressrosa's Doflamingo successfully stole the throne and became king. The incident stirred up thousands of waves, and the people talked a lot. Most of the people in the Thunder God's territory expressed their support. Under the rule of Thunder God, they completely got rid of the days when they were bullied and even massacred by pirates, and lived a peaceful and contented life. Now that Thor is going to build a new country, they will all become the new kings, that is, the people of Lord Thor, so they are naturally very excited. Amber slowly expanded the policies and benefits in her own territory to the territories controlled by other four emperors groups. Whitebeard and Red Hair didn't have any objections. They just liked adventures and banquets, and didn't have much interest in anything else. The combined territories of the four emperors account for 3/4 of the new world. It can be said that Amber does rule the new world at this time. As for money, in addition to Tezzolo's financial support, Amber's policies promoted in the territory finally paid off. Taxes increased significantly. The berry harvested in 1 year reached half of Tezzolo's net worth. Holy Land Mariajoy. Thor declares the founding of a nation. This be ***************************** D. Should we send troops to stop him? Now unless there is an all-out war, there is no way to restrict him. I just didn't expect. Even Uranus's attack was blocked by him. 3 years, just 3 years, how on earth did he do it, this monster? Tap tap tap. While the 5 elders and others were discussing, there was a sound of footsteps, and Im's figure appeared on the throne. All 5 elders immediately fell to their knees. Grown-ups. Leave him alone. Yes, sir. The 5 elders and others did not dare to disobey and responded. A month passed quickly. After a month of preparations, the founding ceremony of the nation was finally about to begin. Because there was enough time, the major forces under the Sky Shadow Pirates, the Whitebeard Pirates, the Red Hair Pirates, and other forces dedicated to pleasing Thor all gathered in Wano Kuni. Amber raised her right arm high and announced loudly, "From today on, we will build a brand new country, and the name of the country will be the Kingdom of Summer." Shah is taken from the Shah of China. The beauty of the so-called uniforms is called Hua, and the great etiquette is called Shah. Oh, the people present cheered loudly. Unlike those from the big forces, they felt honored and excited from the bottom of their hearts for the establishment of the Kingdom of Shah. From today on, I am the captain of the Sky Shadow Pirates and the Emperor of the Kingdom of Summer. From now on, this day will be National Day every year, and the whole country will have a 7-day holiday. Long live Lord Amber. Long live the Kingdom of Summer. Long live the Emperor. Long live the Emperor. Amber then ennobled various major forces and divided the territory it ruled into 7 major regions. Each region had a governor, and several mayors were set up under the governor. All kingdoms and kings in the territory were completely abolished, and the mayors took over. Of course some resistance was inevitable, but Amber sent Ryder and Yishao as captains to lead a 5,000-man army to tour the country and suppress all opposition. Wano Kuni is no longer a country now, and Amber changed its name to Inaba, as the capital of the Kingdom of Summer. Although she didn't know what it meant, Amber often heard this name in the void and thought it sounded pretty good, so she simply used it. Chapter 221 Momonosuke arrives. The 7 most famous plus-size models in the world. More. 590. 148. 197. The country ruled by the Thunder God, the capital of the Summer Kingdom, Inazuma, which was the original Wano Kuni. In a sparsely populated place, a white light circle suddenly appeared in the sky. Ah, ha. Then a group of people fell out of the light circle. This group of people was Kinemon and his party who were teleported back from 20 years ago by Kazuki, and they also brought Kazuki Oden's son Momosuke. It hurts. Get up quickly, don't press on me. A-hole, whose foot is it? Don't put it in my mouth. After a while of chaos, everyone got up. This is Wano-kuni 20 years later. Kinemon looked around and asked in confusion. It can't be wrong, I've been to this place before. Raizo Kaido, but here, why is it so clean? When they crossed over, Wano-kuni had been polluted a lot under the rule of Kaido and Orochi, and there was smoke everywhere, but the surrounding environment was unusually clean. By the way, where is Lord Momonosuke? Kinemon suddenly found that Momonosuke was missing and shouted hurriedly. Woo woo woo. Suddenly, a sound came from the bushes next to him, and Momonosuke's head was stuck straight into the ground, struggling constantly. Lord Momonosuke, you are here, we were really scared. Kinemon quickly rescued Momonosuke. Huh, finally saved, Kinemon, thank you for saving me. Momonosuke said gratefully. Lord Momonosuke, please don't be so polite. Kinemon shook his hand to refuse. This is Lord Oden's only son. How could he, Kinemon, accept Lord Momon's thanks? After discussion, several people decided to hide carefully and secretly find out the current situation of Wano-kuni. Soon, the disguised people came to the nearest town. Is this, really Wano-kuni? Why has it changed so much? Have we come to the wrong place? Everyone was completely dumbfounded when they looked at the modern town. It was completely different from the Wano-kuni they remembered. The street was unusually prosperous, with all kinds of shops, restaurants, hotels, etc. covering the entire street, and pedestrians coming and going all had smiles on their faces. Soon, several people became the outliers on the street, because they were the only ones wearing kimonos on the entire street, and other pedestrians were wearing similar modern clothes. The kimono was large, restrained, and inconvenient. It was basically abolished before His Majesty the Emperor ascended the throne. Now you can still see people wearing kimonos on the street, which naturally attracted everyone's attention. What is going on? What happened to Wano-kuni? Why did it become like this? Did Kaido and Kurozumi force everyone to change their original lifestyle? Everyone was puzzled. Hello, I want to ask, is this Wano-kuni? Kinemon grabbed a passerby and asked. What are you doing? The pedestrian angrily slapped Kinemon's hand. Kaido, what Wano-kuni? This is Inazuma. The capital of Natsu no Koku. Inazuma. Hearing this name, everyone was dumbfounded. Kinemon continued to ask, and although the pedestrian was very impatient, he still reluctantly told what had happened in the past 2 years. Kaido was defeated, Kurozumi Orochi was killed, new general took off his shaved head and changed clothes, emperor founded the country, ascended the throne, changed the country's name. Several people gradually learned that the changes here were that a pirate named Thunder God defeated Kaido and stole Wano-kuni. Wearing kimonos, 8 adults and a child, it seems that they are the people His Majesty the Emperor is looking for. A dark figure murmured, then turned and left, ready to go back and report to His Majesty the Emperor. After entering the town, several people were monitored by the omnipresent Anbu spies. After all, the clothes of several people were too inconsistent in the current Inazuma. The original general's mansion, now the Emperor's palace. The spy passed through doors and came directly to the office where His Majesty the Emperor handled state affairs. Because of Amber's order, if there was important information, they could meet the Emperor directly. The spies would not barge in casually. If they alarmed His Majesty because of a small matter, they would be fined or even fired. Therefore, every spy would come in after careful consideration and confirm that it was indeed a very important matter before meeting the Emperor. Originally, there was no need to alarm His Majesty the Emperor for such a matter as finding someone, but His Majesty the Emperor repeatedly emphasized that those people were very important and that they should report to him as soon as they got the news. Your Majesty, there is important information. The spy half knelt on the ground and handed over a document. Oh, what important information? Amber took it with a puzzled look. Huh, after waiting for so long, this little B************ D finally came. Ha 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 ha, Amber laughed. It was written on the document. Momosuke, the suspected last descendant of the Kazuki family, appeared. Chapter 222, The Last Samurai's Elegy. Amber was extremely excited when he saw the information. He had been waiting for Momosuke for 2 whole years. Amber came into this world and set 2 goals for herself that she must accomplish. The first is to overthrow the world government. Second, torture the little Psy Momosuke hard. Now it's finally here, of course I'm excited. In order to ensure the smooth capture of Momonosuke, Amber directly called Jin, who was in charge of Anbu. Boss, what do you want from me? Jin asked doubtfully. Amber usually comes to him when there's something major going on, but she hasn't heard of anything major lately. Amber directly threw over a photo of Momosuke and others taken by a secret agent. Go and capture these people. The kid in the middle needs to be alive, and you can do whatever you want with the rest. This kid's identity is very special. You have to take action yourself to make sure they don't escape. Amber ordered. Yes, boss. Jin didn't ask anything, turned around and left with the information and photos. What a great tool. There's still 1 year left, so I'm really reluctant to let it go. If I had known it would be 10 or 8 years or something like that. Looking at Jin leaving, Amber shook her head and sighed. Any ruler would like a subordinate like this who never asks why, does things neatly, is ruthless and can complete every task perfectly. ... This damn pirate actually turned Wano Kuni into this horrible state. Rizzo cursed. This pirate can manage the country in an orderly manner, so he is quite capable. But after all, Wano Kuni belongs to the Kazuki family. It is really unforgivable for a pirate to steal it. Kinemon said angrily. ... Then Kinemon, what should we do? This pirate can even defeat Kaido, even his father. Momonosuke trembled and hesitated. When everyone saw such a timid Momonosuke, a trace of contempt flashed in their hearts. It's really disappointing that Master Oden's heir is so useless. But on the surface, everyone still looked respectful. Don't worry, Momonosuke-sama. Although the opponent is very strong, we also have our advantages. What advantage? Momonosuke asked doubtfully. First of all, we traveled through time 20 years ago, and the other party doesn't understand us at all, or even knows our details. The enemy is in the open, and we are in the dark. Second, the Kazuki family is the legal ruler of Wano Kuni, and you are the only descendant of the Kazuki family. As long as you wave your arms, many samurai loyal to the Kazuki family will definitely raise their troops to support you. Third, this pirate went against public opinion and forced people to change their way of life. Fourth, fifth, Kinemon talked about 10 points in an eloquent manner, which was quite similar to Guo Fengshao's 10 victory and 10 defeat theory. Ha 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 ha, great, it turns out that I have the advantage. I, Momosuke, will definitely overthrow the rule of the evil pirates and regain the throne of General Wano Kuni. After listening to Kinemon's words, Momonosuke stood up and pinched his waist, said excitedly. Seeing Momonosuke like this, Kinemon nodded with satisfaction. Who? Lei Zhang shouted suddenly. What? Is there anyone else? Everyone became nervous instantly, pulled out their weapons and looked around nervously. Kinemon firmly protected Momonosuke behind him. Tap tap tap. A group of people dressed in black and wearing masks surrounded them. The crowd automatically parted a path, and a tall body walked out. Who are you? Kinemon asked nervously, holding a long sword. Catch the small ones alive, the big ones as you please. Jin ignored it and gave the order directly. Yes. They are here to capture Momonosuke-sama, protect him. Kinemon shouted quickly. Kill. The crowd in black rushed towards several people collectively. Dang dang dang. Ah, the sound of fighting instantly echoed throughout the entire area. After a long time, many men in black had fallen on the ground, and several people from Kinemon were panting. These men in black are all elites selected by Anbu. Although they are no match for Kinemon and others, it is not easy for them to defeat the men in black. Just as several people continued to concentrate on fighting the enemy, Jin suddenly made a sneak attack and cut through the void with his long knife. Ah! Screams kept coming. After a while, more and more people on Kinemon's side fell down, and finally only one Kinemon was left protecting Momonosuke, but he was also injured in many places. Who are you? Kinemon asked breathlessly. Anbu. Jin said coldly. Anbu, are you the subordinates of the pirate named Thunder God? How did he discover us? Is there a traitor among us? Kinemon said in shock. Jin didn't have Kaido and still looked at Kinemon coldly. Ahem. Kinemon spit out a mouthful of blood. Kinemon, are you okay? Momonosuke grabbed Kinemon's clothes tightly and asked worriedly. His current life safety depends entirely on Kinemon's protection, so he is naturally worried about Kinemon's condition. Momonosuke-sama, I'm fine. Don't worry, I will take you away safely. Kinemon's determined Kaido. I'm afraid you can't do it. Jin said coldly. Everyone, no matter what your purpose is, can you let him go? He is just a child and doesn't understand anything. Kinemon begged. The Emperor's order is to arrest him. You are redundant. It seems that the pirate really knows the identity of Momonosuke-sama. Is it because he is afraid that Momonosuke-sama will come back to overthrow his rule, so he chooses to take action in advance? Kinemon said with a sad smile, and then held onto Momonosuke tightly. He held his hand and said, Momonosuke-sama, follow me and rush out later. Whether you can survive or not depends on God's will. We must not embarrass Lord Oden. Just when Kinemon was about to pull Momonosuke out, Momonosuke suddenly threw away his hand, then raised it high and shouted. Don't kill me, I am Kazuki Oden's son, Momosuke, I still have take advantage. Lord Momonosuke, you. Kinemon turned around and looked at Momonosuke in shock. PFF'd. Jin's long knife took the opportunity to pierce his heart. Why? Kinemon fell to the ground in confusion. In a daze, I could still hear Momonosuke constantly muttering, I want to die, you die. I don't want to die, and finally slowly lost the breath of life. What a loyal warrior. Jin sighed looking at Kinemon's body, and then ordered his subordinates, bury them all properly. Yes, Bucho. His subordinate Kaido. Jin grabbed the trembling Momonosuke. Is this the son of the samurai named Oden who killed brother Kaido back then? Sir, that's right. I am Kazuki Oden's son, please don't kill me. Momonosuke said in horror. What a piece of trash. Chapter 223 Kazuki Momoko. Interesting for you. Selena Gomez posts powerful bikini then and now. More. 533. 133. 178. Jin grabbed Momonosuke like a chicken. Crack. Ouch. Throw Momonosuke to the ground like garbage. Boss, I've captured the person you want. Very good. As expected of you, Jin. A man who has completed the mission 100%. Amber gave a thumbs up and praised. It's okay, I'll leave first. Unfortunately, Jin didn't appreciate it and turned to leave. Amber shrugged helplessly, then looked at the little kid in a pink kimono. Momonosuke also looked at the man in front of him in horror. He knew that it was the man in front of him who defeated Kaido and stole his Kazuki family's Wano-kuni. Kid Momonosuke, we finally meet. Amber smiled happily. Are you the god of thunder? Momonosuke asked. Yes, I am. Crack. Momonosuke immediately fell to his knees and knocked his head violently. Lord Thor, thank you. Thank you. While kowtowing, he kept mumbling. Oh, what are you thanking me for? Amber asked with interest. Of course, thank you for defeating Kaido and avenging my father. And thank you for liberating Wano-kuni and allowing the people to live a good life. Momonosuke slapped a lot of flattery. Ha ha ha. Amber couldn't help laughing. Momonosuke is a little kid who is timid, cowardly, afraid of getting into trouble, afraid of taking responsibility, and lustful. He is simply a waste among wastes, but he still has a little bit of cleverness. Seeing the current situation clearly, Wano-kuni has been completely controlled by the pirates in front of him, but all his loyal retainers have died in the battle. He has nothing, just the title of Kazuki Oden's son. How can he fight with others? In order to survive, he simply gave in. Sir, can you please not kill me? Seeing Amber laughing, Momonosuke asked cautiously. Kill you? When did I say I was going to kill you? Amber asked confused. Hearing Amber's words, Momonosuke was instantly overjoyed and responded quickly. No, I never said that. I was just talking nonsense. You don't have to die. Momonosuke thought excitedly that as a descendant of the Kazuki family, if the other party didn't kill him, he should entertain him well, and maybe there would be a beautiful young lady. Thinking of this, Momonosuke couldn't help but salivate. Don't worry, I have some good stuff here. Amber waved. Then he took out a syringe from the system space with some pink liquid inside. Amber had started preparing these things a long time ago, just waiting for the little pea-sai to be caught, and they finally came in handy today. ... Go back to a year ago. Long time no see, dragon. Thunder God, how come you have time to call me? Long asked confused. I heard that Ivankov, a cadre of your revolutionary army, escaped from Impel Down. This is all thanks to Lord Thor. If Lord Thunder hadn't seriously injured Magellan who was guarding Impel Down, my companions wouldn't have had a chance. Long, I have something to ask Ivankov for help. Huh, tell him in person. The phone bug then transformed into a large-eyed figure wearing bright lipstick, none other than Ivankov. Hip, I wonder what you want from me, Thor boy. I heard that your fruit power is very strange and can turn men into women. Hip, Thor boy, do you also want to become a great ladyboy and join our ranks of ladyboys? Don't get me wrong, I have no interest at all. I am using it as a punishment to turn a man into a woman. This kind of psychological shock is enough to defeat any normal man. What a genius idea. If you need as much as you need, just come to me. Ivankov's heroic Kaido. There is only one prisoner, so one copy is enough. But what should I give you? In 3 days, I will personally pick it up from you. Quote. In this way, Amber got the transgender hormone from Ivankov, which can permanently change a person's gender as long as it is injected into the human body, unless Ivankov changes her back to him again. Amber held the syringe and looked at Momonosuke maliciously. Thunder God, sir, what is that? Momonosuke looked at the syringe and asked in horror. Good stuff specially prepared for you. Lord Thunder God, what do you want to do? Momonosuke collapsed to the ground and asked in despair. Amber grabbed his neck without hesitation, lifted him up, no matter how much he resisted, and then pricked him with a needle. Momonosuke screamed like a slaughtering pig in an instant. Then her body began to undergo obvious changes. Her face gradually became smaller, her skin became smoother, and her ugly Tsukio hair turned into long flowing hair. She looked like a cute little Lolita in a kimono. What on earth did you do to me? Momonosuke asked in a cute voice. PFF ha 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 ha. Amber laughed when she saw this little B*********** D turned into like this. I now take away your name Momosuke. From now on, you are called Kazuki Momoko. In his previous life, weren't there many people who liked him and affectionately called him Daozi? Now it's their wish. But it's not over yet. How is this considered abuse? None of it reached the level of abuse. Come here. Amber greeted outside the door. Your Majesty the Emperor. The guard at the door knelt down. Take her to prison no. 5. Your Majesty, prison number 5. Those incarcerated there are all XX prisoners. The guard looked confused. Don't ask about things you shouldn't ask. Amber said coldly. Yes, Your Majesty. The guard said hurriedly. Execute the order. No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. When Kazuki Momoko heard that she was going to be thrown into a prison full of sexual inmates, she struggled desperately and grabbed the feet of the desk and refused to let go. You still want to resist, you damn B****************** D. 100,000 volts. Amber casually released a bolt of lightning. Kazuki Momoko held on to the 100,000 volts and refused to let go. 500,000 volts. Amber continued to increase the power. Seeing that he was still holding on, Amber was afraid of electrocuting him, so she stopped the electric shock and stepped on his head, knocking him out. Take him down. He ordered the guard next to him. Yes, Your Majesty. The guard looked at this scene and did not dare to say anything. He grabbed Kazuki and went to prison number 5. Here, where is it? Kazuki opened her eyes, rubbed them, and found herself in darkness with only a window providing a little light. Then I saw many tall figures around me through the bright light. It's been a long time since I've had a newcomer. Thin skin and tender meat. You go away, let me come first. Who are you? Kazuki Momo retreated to the corner and asked in horror. What do you think? He. No, ah. Inhumane screams came from the prison. Chapter 224 ending. Amber selected the 10 most elite people from Anbu, who were responsible for guarding Kazuki Tauzi and not letting her escape or let the people in prison number 5 kill her. I remember watching One Piece in my previous life, and I was so disgusted by this guy. There are always people shouting, One Piece can be wrong, but Momonosuke must die. Amber disagreed with this statement. How could Xiao Tauzi leave this world and go to the paradise so easily? Amber is going to use the most precious medicinal materials to keep our cute little Peach alive until she is an adult. No matter what, the prisoners in number 5 prison must be allowed to come a few times each. Set a small goal first, 100 times for each person. Thinking of this, Amber couldn't help laughing. Of course everything is hidden from others, especially Kazuki Hiyori, who still doesn't know that her titular brother is still alive. Momosuke, which means, invincible. Amber sneered again and again. A few days later, Robin suddenly came to see Amber. Amber, do you have a clue about the other 2 historical texts? There's one piece in Zuowu, I'm going to pick it up later, and there's another piece that I really don't know where it's going. Amber said helplessly. Then I want to go too. I've never seen an elephant 10,000 meters high. Robin said with a smile. Then I'll ask the others. After Amber asked, only Nami and Yamato were willing, while the others were busy with their own things. Others Amber can still understand, Perona doesn't know anything, what is she busy with? Then when I asked, it turned out that a new clothing store had recently opened and I was busy shopping. There were only 4 people, and the Thor didn't leave. He just asked Nami to create clouds and fly with everyone. Under Nami's guidance, after several days, the 4 finally arrived at their destination. When they saw the huge creature, except for Amber, the other 3 people collectively lost their voices. They finally saw the legendary giant elephant that could walk on the sea today. This is incredible, how could such a huge creature exist? Nami said. It's many times bigger than the blue dragon that D Dad transformed into. Yamato said. It is said that the elephant owner has been walking on the sea for thousands of years. It is really valuable for research. Robin said with a smile. A visual inspection shows that the height of the elephant owner is at least about 4 times higher than Amber's last Susanoo. In other words, the elephant owner is at least 40,000 meters tall. Big means strong, which makes sense no matter what world you are in. The destructive power brought by such a huge size can be imagined. Even Jack the Drow, the ship king, with a reward of 1 billion berries, was killed by the elephant owner with a flick of his nose. The reason why Amber was not surprised was because he had seen the larger Uranus, which was 100,000 meters tall. In front of Uranus, the elephant owner was just a child. The country of Zo exists on the back of the elephant owner. The elephant owner has been carrying Zo for hundreds of years. This is someone's punishment for it. It can only stop when it is forgiven. Everyone jumped down from the clouds and landed on Zo Island accurately. The moment she landed, Amber suddenly opened her heart net, and the situation of the entire island was instantly imprinted in her heart. Amber, what should we do now? Nami asked. I like it simple. Amber laughed. He had already sensed the location of the historical text, and he didn't need the fur tribe on this island to guide him. Amber's eyes narrowed for a moment, and the endless conquerors attacked the entire island in an instant, but they perfectly avoided the Nami trio and the Elephant Master. The strongest members of the fur tribe are Neko Viper and Anuarashi Duke. The 2 of them are as powerful as Shichibukai. They can't even defeat the king of ships in a wheel battle. How much stronger do you expect them to be? Amber's strength has long surpassed that of the 4 emperors. Above. Conquerors swept past, and except for 4 people, no living thing was awake on the entire island. Speedrunning again. No sense of adventure at all. Nami complained. Haha, the difference in strength is too big, and you are still slowly completing level 1 level, that is boring. Amber laughed. He no longer has any thoughts of taking risks. He has stood at the top of all pirates. He has been invincible for too long, and his state of mind is different. The historical text of the road sign is hidden inside the whale tree on this island. Without any obstruction from the fur tribe, the 4 of them quickly arrived at their destination. If Amber didn't have a hard network, she really wouldn't have been able to find it. After all, who would have thought that this big tree actually has its own cave? The red text of the road sign that everyone is looking for just stands there, with moss growing next to it. Hurry up and finish the rubbing, let's go. Amber smiled. Okay. Robin took out the paper and started rubbing. After that, everyone left Zuowu. Amber gathered all the forces and used reanimation jutsu to resurrect Rocks, One Piece Roger, Kaido, and Bigmom. Wait for a group of strong men to unite and fight against Lord Im. Finally, he overthrew the world government and became the king of the world.